하이미 안녕하세요. 오늘은 할로윈을 기념해서 조금 무섭다고 하는 모습갱이 게임을 갖고 와 보았는데요. 좀 제가 겁이 많아가지고 얼마나 무서울지 모르겠는데 일단 한번 열심히 플레이를 해보도록 하겠습니다. 슬레이 더 프린세스, 공주를 죽여라 라는 섬뜩한 제목의 게임인데요. 저 전혀 이 게임이 뭔지 잘 몰라가지고 일단 한번 해보도록 하겠습니다. 무서워. 너무 무섭습니다. 새끼. 오이. 하지마! 하지마요. 뭐야? 눌렀는데 왜 이렇게 돼? 용사와 공주 제1장.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
일단 더빙이 되어 있다는 점 굉장히 마음에 들고 있습니다. 오, 이렇게 이런 식으로 움직이는군요. 공주가 오두막 지하실에 있다는데 왜 그럴까?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
공주가 뭐 마녀 그런 모시갱이인가? 근데 저 잘 들리나요? 잠시만요. 콘나 칸지 데스까? 세상에 정말 무슨 소리를 하는 거야? 공지를 가둬놓는 바람에가 굉장히 강조되어 있네요. 공주를 죽인 건 나쁜 짓 같은데 다른 사람 시키면 안 돼? 됐어, 안 할래. 내가 세상에 끝장나도 괜찮다고 한다면? 네 말대로 하면 보상이라도 주나? 멋진데 난 항상 공주들을 타도하고 싶었어. 혁명이여 영원하라. 조용히 오두막으로 향한다. 세상에 정말 혹시 공주는 드래곤 같은 거였던 걸까? 나쁜 짓 같은데?
Does it? Are you a monarchist? Is slaying a princess that much worse than slaying a fisherman or a miller or a seamstress? If anything, slaying a princess is much better than slaying a seamstress. Seamstresses contribute something of value to society.
공주들은 주질 않는가? 난 사실 잘 몰라. 이런 식으로 나레이터랑 약간 좀 싸우나 보네요.
While I appreciate the mental exercise, we are running up against a bit of a ticking clock. Nevertheless, let me assure you, the princess is locked up because she's dangerous. She is not dangerous because she's locked up.
뭐가 위험하다는 걸까?
And before you decide to waste even more of our time by asking how I know that, let me suggest a more pragmatic lens through which to view this situation. Causality doesn't matter here, because the end result is the same no matter what led us up to this point. If the princess leaves the cabin, the world will end, and there is no changing that.
왜? 설명을 해줘.
It's no use arguing semantics over a metaphorical chicken or egg, because the egg is hatched and it's about to ruin everything. Unless, of course, you do your job and slay her.
근데 공주라는 그거 자체가 그 오두막에 있다는 것도 말이 안 되지 않나?
I'm talking about the end of everything as we know it. No more birds, no more trees, and perhaps most problematically of all, no more people. You have to put an end to her.
어떡해? 아니, 이 공주가 도대체 무슨 힘이 있길래? 여기 있네. 지하실에 갇혀있는 공주가 어떻게 세상을 끝장낸다는 거야? 이거 새로운 선택지다. 새로운 선택지 나왔다. 왜 위험한지 일단 1번부터 할게요.
Don't linger on the specifics. You have a job to do here. Just get in there and do what needs to be done. We're all counting on you.
약간 가스라이팅 같은데? 그 선택지 날라갔다. 증거 있어? 증거 있냐고.
Look, you're already on the path that leads to the cabin. Why would you be here if it weren't to complete a very important task? You've made it this far, you might as well reach the end of your journey.
공주랑 우드마을을 가서 공주랑 대화를 해볼게. 공주가 네 말처럼 나쁜 사람이라면 공주를 처치할 수도 있어. I can! 하지만 공주를 직접 만나기 전까지는 아무것도 하지 않을 거야.
Then I guess we'll just have to see what happens. But a word of warning. If you go in prepared to hear her out, she could easily trap you in her web of lies. And the more you listen to her honeyed words, the harder it'll be to pull yourself out. Then each and every one of us is doomed.
오케이.
So sure, go, talk to her. See how that turns out for all of us.
Alright.
You make your way up the short path to the cabin. You'll find the princess within. We're not going to go through with this, right? She's a princess. We're supposed to save princesses, not slay them.
용사의 목소리. 근데 나레이터랑 똑같은데? 해설자랑 목소리가 똑같은데?
Ignore him. He doesn't know what he's talking about.
내가 이중인격자였던 거임. 우드마을로 들어간다. 나 무서워. 진짜 무서워. 어떡해?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely bare. The air is stale and musty, and the floor and walls are painted in a fine layer of dust. The only furniture of note is a plain wooden table. Perched on that table is a pristine blade. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
용사인데 칼도 혼자 안 들고 댕겨? 아니야. 난 너무 무서우니까 일단 대화를 한번 해보겠어.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
가스라이팅. 이런 곳에 있으면 정신 안 나가겠어?
Her voice softly carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
안녕하세요.
It's hypnotizing.
어?
It's the kind of voice you only have to hear once to remember it for the rest of your life.
약간 이렇게 말하니까 또 이상한 것 같기도 한데? 이거 매혹 맞았니?
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation. You're playing a dangerous game by coming here unarmed.
거짓말. 당신을 구하러 왔어. 헐. 당신을 확인하러 왔어.
You are? It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
근데 진짜 목소리가 너무 그건데? 피해자.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement. She's beautiful. How could someone like this be of threat to anyone?
근데 예쁜...
I am begging you to stay focused. There's a lot riding on you here.
Hi. Do you think you can get me out of these chains?
잠깐, 그 전에 얘기부터 먼저 하자.
Okay.
약간 얼빠가 조금 무서울지도? 처음부터 한번 해볼까요? 당신의 이름은 무엇이죠?
Oh.
She pauses, carefully formulating her words before she responds.
아니, 이름 얘기하는데 왜 멈칫해?
You can address me as Your Royal Highness. Or you can just call me Princess if your Royal Highness is too formal.
공주마마.
Is Princess her name or her title? What if it's both? Could you imagine being named Princess Princess?
그럼 공주가 당신의 이름인가요? 얘 뭐 숨긴다. 이상해. 이거 왜 이래?
Like I said, you can call me Princess if you'd like.
눈이 눈이 정상적인 것 같진 않긴 해.
I'm sorry, I've been down here so long, I guess I've just forgotten. I must have a name, though. Everyone has a name.
나의 이름을 줄 수가 있나?
Okay, that's weird.
얼마나 오랫동안 갇혔지?
She hadn't even thought to pick a name for herself. Hopefully you're starting to see that she can't be trusted. Go back upstairs, get the blade and slay her before it's too late.
난 당신에 대해 아는 게 없어. 당신이 이유가 있어서 여기 갇혀 있는 것밖에.
Of course I'm locked up down here for a reason.
무슨 이유?
I don't actually know what that reason is, but you don't just stuff a princess in a basement and throw away the key without there being some sort of an explanation, right?
너도 모른다는 거구나.
You have all the explanation you need. You should know better than to trust whatever she comes up with.
아니야, 해설자도 나한테 아무것도 설명 안 해줬어. 그냥 세계 멸망한다 이거밖에 얘기 안 해가지고. 아니 어떻게 멸망하는데 알려줘. 제가 뭔 잘못을 했는데 납득을 해줘. 그렇게 오랜만에 그렇네. 그렇게 오랜만에 만나는 사람이 나라면 당신은 그동안 뭘 먹으면서 살아온 거야? 마실 건 또 어떻게 했고? 그렇네. 너 어떻게 이렇게 예쁜 차림으로 있을 수가 있지?
I don't see what that has to do with anything.
아이 당연하지. 너 뭐야? 너 정체 뭐야? 나 너무 팔랑귀 같아요.
This is the only time this is ever going to happen, but I agree with the princess. That's hardly relevant.
왜 relevant가 아닌데? 아유 진짜 답답해 죽겠네.
Okay, but actually, what has she been eating? She has to eat, right?
나 같은 사람 먹은 거 아니야? 나 같은 사람 주워. 오는 사람 이렇게 먹었나 봐. 난 당신을 처치하러 왔어. 당신이 세상에 종말을 불러올 거라고 하길래. 뭐야? 이렇게 더 할 수 하지만 당신을 직접 만나보고 싶었어. 아직 뭘 믿어야 할지 모르겠거든.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world. I think.
I think? What do you mean I think?
I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here for so long.
얼마나?
That's... How long has she been locked away?
Did they tell you how I'm supposed to end the world?
그냥 다 뒤진대. 난 많은 것을 모른단다 지금. 화재 전환. 그건 당신이 말해줄 줄 알았어.
I don't know how to destroy the world, if that's what you're getting at.
I believe her.
야, 나 아직 안 믿어.
She doesn't have to know how to destroy the world to be capable of doing it.
Doesn't have to know how. She's capable.
At the end of the day, whatever the two of us have going on down here is about trust.
근데 나는 아직 너도 못 믿겠어.
Whoever sent you to slay me claimed I was a threat to the world, but they didn't tell you why.
맞아.
I don't trust that. And I don't think you do either, or you wouldn't have come down here to talk.
근데 얘도 나를 가스라이팅하는 것 같아. 약간 두 명의 가스라이터 사이에서 갈팡질팡하는 나의 모습이랄까?
She has a point. We're talking like this for a reason.
So this shouldn't be about what I'd do if I got out of here, or me saying the right thing to convince you to save me. This is about how messed up this whole situation is. This is my life we're talking about.
납득이 되는 것 같기도 하고.
Do you really think I can even end the world? Why would I
뭐지?
even want to?
그럼 내가 어떻게 알아? 난 너에 대해 아는 게 없는데.
We both know that if there's people we can't trust in this situation, it's whoever locked me down here, and it's whoever sent you here. And those two groups are probably one and the same.
Don't let her turn the tables here. This isn't about trust. This is about risk. We stand to lose everything, all for the sake of one person, and a subjugating monarch, no less.
약간 이런 군주 이런 모나키에 대한 굉장한 그런 불합리함을 느끼는 것 같은데 일단 죽이진 않을게. 근데 풀어줄 수도 없을 것 같아. 너가 너무 많은 것을 숨기고 있거든. 내가 잠시 여기서 너와 함께 있으면 어떨까? 어쩌면 우리 모두 만족할 수 있을지도 몰라. 엄청 긁히는 거 아니야? 풀어주고 싶은데 약간 어떻게 만족한다는 거야? 이러는 거 아니야?
That seems like a pretty good compromise.
I don't think I could bear being down here that much longer.
Leaving her alive is too risky. If you don't deal with her soon, she will find a way out.
얘가 어떻게 알아? 아니 평생 이렇게 갇혀 있는 상태에 내가 그냥 와서 슝 하고 죽이기만 하면 되는 거라면은 근데 뭐 지금 당장 해야 돼 이게 나는 이 납득이 안 돼. 이 설명에 진작에 빠져나왔겠지.
So I'm the only one who liked that idea.
One way or another, I'm going to find a way out of here. It would make it easier for both of us if you'd help.
갑자기 너무 무서워졌어요.
But if you don't, I can promise that you'll regret that decision.
공주, 눈이 돌았어요.
You have to make a choice. Let's hope for all our sakes it's the right one.
어떡해. 이거 하면은 진짜 무서운 엔딩 나올 것 같아. 나 살고 싶어. 약간 이 도른을 보니까 나 약간 못 믿겠어.
Thank you.
근데 얘도 이상해.
You turn back to the stairs, intent on retrieving the blade in the cabin.
나 죽는 거 아니야?
Where are you going? You can't just leave me here. Fine, turn your back on me, but it won't be long before I slip these chains. And once I'm out of here, there will be hell to pay for leaving me behind.
Slip these chains? She can't, right? She needed our help to get out of here. But do you hear the conviction in her voice? I don't think she's bluffing. She has to be bluffing, but hurry. You rush up to the first floor, grabbing the blade, both yours and the world's only possible salvation. Okay. If you slowly creep down the basement stairs, it's quiet.
좋아, 이 결정을 확신 않으면 나도 따르도록 할게. 어쨌든 우리는 세상을 구해야 하니까 라고 했습니다. 나 너무 놀래가지고 스페이스바를 2번 눌렀나봐요.
Where the princess sat only a moment ago, there's only a severed arm, its cooling flesh still chained to the wall. And she is nowhere to be seen.
나 죽는다 얘들아. 만나서 반가웠고 다음에 나를 꼭 기억해줘.
Is it just me? Or did this room get a lot bigger?
Oh my god. 끝내.
Your eyes dart to the corners of the room.
너무 오래
You don't see
걸렸나봐.
her.
너무 오래 걸렸나봐.
Where is she?
문을 왜 닫아? 문 닫지 마. 팔 조사해.
As you step towards the severed limb, you hear the pattering of feet behind you, soft against the basement floor, then loud and desperate against the stairs.
아니네. 나를 안 죽이네.
You turn to chase after the princess, but she's fast and has too much of a lead. She slams the door behind her before you can make it to the top of the stairs. The lock clicks into place. No!
Thanks for letting me out. I'd return the favor, but I think we both know that I can't trust you to let me stay free.
With those parting words, the princess walks away, her quiet footsteps eventually fading as she leaves you and the cabin to rot. You're stuck here, alone. It can't just end like this.
엔딩이다. 엔딩이다, 엔딩.
As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. I'm sorry, but it's over. You don't know how much time passes before the end, but eventually it comes. The world ends, and you end with it.
근데 어떻게 종말이 왔어? 무서워! 하지마! 뭐야? 제2장 마녀! 뭐야? 왜 안 끝났어? 끝내줘 제발!
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
도르마무? 거래를 하러 왔다.
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
무서워.
it will be the end of the world.
이거 이미 일어났던 일 아니야? 나는 죽었었는걸. 내가 여기에 뭘 하고 있는 거지?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're here to slay the princess. I literally told you that a second ago. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
아니야. 난 기억해. 나는 정말 심리적 공포에 사로잡혀 있었어.
Brilliant. We need to keep our cards close to our chest, and I'm not sure we can trust him.
새로운 사람이다. 나 그거 맞나 봐. 다중인격인가 봐.
You know I can hear you, right? It's going to be a lot harder than you think to keep secrets from me. Did I say I'm not sure we can trust him? Slip of the tongue, bit of the old brain fog. I meant to say that we should probably head over to the cabin and slay that princess. We already know we can't trust her, so let's get on with the show.
나 죽을 때마다 새로운 인격이 태어나나 봐, 머릿속에서. 그래서 1번 내가 봤을 때 용사가 맨 첫 번째 인격이었고, 공주를 구해줬어, 아니면 죽였어, 몰라. 공주를 구해줬겠지? 기본적인 그런 용사 스토리를 따라간다면은 악당을 물리치고 공주를 구해주는 이런 스토리를 가니까, 공주를 구해줬는데 무슨 일이 생겨가지고 내가 죽어가지고 해설자라는 인격이 태어나가지고, 자, 너는 용사야, 이 공주는 굉장히 이브한 사람이니까 네가 가서 죽여야 해 하면서 이렇게 그 정당성을 부여해줬나봐, 이 해설자가. 근데 내가 해설자랑 용사의 목소리로 시작을 했으니까 약간 지금 멘탈 붕괴가 와가지고 이 해설자 이 자식이 좀 이상한데? 해가지고 이거 좀 아닌 것 같은데? 하고 해설자의 말을 안 듣다가 죽임을 또 당해가지고 기회주의자가 태어난 것 같은데? 지금 자꾸 나를 이렇게 가스라이팅 시키는 것 같아. 죽이라고. 와, 이거 지금 내가 나랑 싸우고 있는 거야. 내가 하는 말이 진실이고 이 모든 게 실제로 이미 일어났던 일이라고 가정해보자고. 내가 왜 당신 말을 들어야 하지? 내가 왜 무언가를 하는 수고를 감수해야 하지?
Those are two very different questions, but fine, I'll indulge you if that's what it takes to get you moving. Let's say for a moment that this really is the second time you've met me, or at least a version of me. You died last time, which probably only happened because you didn't listen to me.
근데 이렇게 하니까 좀 빡치지.
I can if you failed to slay the princess, which you apparently did. So great. Congratulations. You've been given another chance to actually do this right.
내가 실수 스킵한 것 같은데? 도덕적으로 모호한 상황에서 선택지를 고민하고 있었을 뿐이야. 선택의 갈림길에서 좀 잰다고 뭐라 할 건 아니잖아. 맞아요. 그러니까 그리고 비아냥거리죠, 해설자가.
And I believe your other question was something along the lines of, what's the point of doing anything? If you're asking that, it sounds to me like you're making the rather dangerous assumption that your actions last time around didn't have any consequences. What do you mean? Of course there weren't any consequences. The princess locked us in a basement, we eventually died, and now everyone's right back where they started. Sounds pretty consequence-free to me. Yes, but in this purely hypothetical scenario, that begs the question of how you got back here. Did time simply rewind itself, or were you instead transported to a different world entirely?
도루마무를 해버린 것이야.
If it's the latter, what do you think happened after you died? Do you think the people there lived happily ever after? Or do you think that the princess, left unhindered, brought about the end to everyone and everything just like I told you she would? That's a very good point. This princess character seems like a lot of trouble, and if you think about it, actually slaying her probably breaks us out of this cycle, right? We don't want to be stuck here forever, do we?
그러니까 이 인격들은 이제 좀 힘든 거지.
You're laying it on a little thick, aren't you? Laying it on a little thick? What are you talking about? I'm sharing my honest opinions. What matters is that almost everyone seems to be on the same page. So whenever you're ready, you can stop dawdling, get to the cabin, and save the world.
공주에 대해 얘기해보자.
Just be quick about it.
하나밖에 못 하거든요. 이거 내가 내 느낌상 하나밖에 못 골라. 제일 궁금한 거, 지하실에 공주를 가둔 건 누구지? 그리고 이 장소는 대체 뭐지?
People locked her in that basement, and
Oh
I
my
told you
God.
what this place is. It's a path in the woods.
사람
Don't overcomplicate things.
해설자가 좀 빡치게 하니까 자꾸 말 듣기 싫어지는데. 사람들이 공주를 가뒀다면 왜 그들이 직접 공주를 서치하지 않았지? 어째서 나한테 그 임무가 주어진 거야?
Look, I'm not supposed to say this, but it's because you're special. You're the only person capable of doing this. Call it a prophecy, if that helps, but it's just the way things are.
약간 해리포터 해리포터가 된 것이냐고.
Oh, I didn't know we were special.
칭찬을 들으니 기분이 좋아지는 걸.
Of course you're special. Why else would you be here? Good point. That really explains almost everything. I'm not so sure about that. You know, you're right, but it explains almost everything.
너네 나한테 뭔가를 숨기고 있어. 왜 나한테 말하지 나한테 말하지 않은 게 뭐지?
I've told you everything you need to know. Going into more detail will just overcomplicate an otherwise very simple situation and make your job more difficult. Not to sound like a broken record, but the less you know about her, the better things will go for all of us. I know it sounds like I'm hiding something, but you're just going to have to take me at my word.
난 네가 누군지 모르겠고.
I don't think either of you really need to press the man on this. He wants us to slay the princess, so why would he have anything to hide? He seems like a nice guy to me.
도움 안 되네 얘.
I appreciate the vote of confidence, but you should really stop wasting time chatting amongst yourselves in the woods. So if we could move this along?
싫어. 싫어. 난 다 물어보겠어. 지난번에 공주가 날 죽였어. 어떻게 그런 일이 다시 일어나지 않는다고 장담하지? 굉장히 무서웠는데 말이야.
Like I said, if she killed you, it was probably because you didn't listen to me. Don't talk to her, don't trust her, just go in, do your job and save the world.
지난번에 공주는 날 지하실에 가둬놓고 죽게 돼버려졌어. 오해하지 마. 나도 그러기 싫었다고. 하지만 어떻게 그런 사람이 세상을 끝낼 수 있지?
She just can. But that doesn't mean you're not fully up to the task that's been given to you. Have a little faith in yourself, and maybe try not to get tricked this time.
알겠어.
Great. Now, if you don't mind, the whole world is waiting with bated breath for you to save it from ruin.
떠날 수가 있네? 나 안 만나고 싶어. 떠날래.
Well, you're the boss. Seriously? You're just going to turn around and leave? Do you even know where you're going?
아니 몰라. 어머. 아니 난 몰라. 조용히 내려갈 수도 있네. 내가 어디로 안 가는지가 중요하지. 오두막. 그 오두막은 안 가.
Fine. I suppose you just quietly continue down the path away from the cabin.
엔딩 온다. 이런 음악이 들려오면 엔딩인 것 같아.
That's strange. It looks like this path also leads to the cabin. How convenient. Everything's back on track again. Maybe the world can still be saved after all.
망차. 아무 말 없이 또 뒤돌아서서 또 떠난다.
You're really keen on wasting everyone's time, aren't you? It's remarkably selfish, if you ask me. I've already outlined the stakes of the situation. If you don't do your job, everyone dies. Like, dies. Forever.
죽어.
But fine, you turn around and trek back down the path you came.
Wait, something isn't right. Can you still hear me? You're supposed to wind up back at the cabin again. But everything is getting fuzzy.
오, 목소리가 멀리 갔는데?
What's going on? Where are we? I like it. Seems like it's got great acoustics.
아씨. 엄마 무서워. 주변의 세계가 해체되고 물리적 물질이 실체를 지닌 공허로 대체된다. 정막이 흐른다. 저 멀리서 우르릉거리는 소리가 무수한 소리가 들린다. 다른 무언가가 가까이 다가올수록 기복이 더 크게 고동친다. 엄마 하지마. 엄마 나 진짜 무서워. 감각기관이 현실의 단면에 더듬는다. 당신의 의식을 발견한 말단부가 그 주위를 휘감는다. 당신은 더 이상 혼자가 아니다. 저항. 손가락이 당신 영혼의 유리 같은 표면을 핥히듯 긁는다. 좌절. 이 그릇은 당신으로 가득 차 있어. 내겐 기어 들어갈 수 있는 공간이 필요하다. 나를 닮은 무언가가. 깨어 일어나. 그렇지 않다.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
진짜 무서워. 아니 대사를 읽게 하면서. 아니.
You're here to slay her. If you don't,
본적 있는 대화는 키보드의 탭키 또는 컨트롤러의 R1 버튼으로 눌러 건너뛸 수 있습니다. 알겠어요? 다른 사람 시키면 안 돼? 나 특별하다고 하니까 안 된다고 했고 세상이 끝장나도 괜찮다고 한다면?
of course I haven't. Why would I even consider that? Nobody wants the world to end.
I haven't 1인칭 나왔거든요? 내가 세상이 끝장나도 괜찮다고 하면 난 그런 적 없어 라고 했거든요. 1인칭 나왔기 때문에 얘는 나야.
I mean, maybe some people do, like nihilists or very, very evil people, but surely you're not one of those, right?
일단 가자 그러면.
You make
어떻게 해야
your way
돼?
up the short path to the cabin.
다 들은 거지? 나 안 하고 싶어.
The interior of the cabin.
빨리 챙겨서
You take the blade from the table. It'd be rather difficult to slay the princess and save the world without it.
들어가. 벌써부터 엔딩이야.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing a staircase faintly illuminated by an unseen light in the room below. This is an oppressive place. The air feels heavy and damp, a hint of rot filtering from the ancient wood. If the princess really lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor.
무서워.
Her voice carries up the stairs.
Who's there?
She knows.
She sounds dangerous. It's almost as if she's the one in charge down here.
Don't let it fool you. It's all part of the manipulation.
계속해서 계단을 일단
Good.
내려가.
You're still listening to reason. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
그러게 생각을 해보니까 여기는 이렇게 몰려있는데 여기는 왜 연결이 안 되어 있을까? 이것도 이상한 것 같아.
She's so coldly beautiful. Is she really a threat to the world? Focus on the task at hand.
And there you are. Are you here to kill me or something?
그래 좋아 들켰네. 난 너를 죽이러 여기 온 거야. 아직 결정하지 못했어. 아니야 그냥 빨리 해. 긴장을 놓치지 않고 앞으로 나아가.
You step forward, your grip on the blade tightening as you steel your resolve.
오 마이 갓.
Oh? No talking then? Fine. What even makes you think you can kill me? I'm probably chained up in this basement for a reason, right? And if that knife is the only weapon you have, you'll have to get close enough to use it. So, you should just drop it. Best not to risk finding out what I can do.
뭘 할 수 있는데?
She's unarmed. If you hesitate now, it'll be too late. End this.
처치해.
You lunge forward without a moment's hesitation.
미안해.
You feel flesh easily give way
Oh.
and look down to see your blade already sinking deep into her heart.
할 날이.
Oh. This is it, isn't it? I'm almost embarrassed. I should have seen that coming. But I have to wonder.
근데 왜 이렇게 찔렸는데 말을 이렇게 잘할 수가 있지?
Do you actually believe this was enough to kill me?
미안해요 언니.
It's like she's convinced she can't die.
불멸 아니야? 불멸? 불멸이어가지고 갇힌 거 아니야? 그래가지고 수백 년이 지나도 그래서 이름도 까먹고 그런 거야. 누가 얘를 가둬놓은지도 이제 모르고 너무 많은 시간이 지났기 때문에. 그거 아니야 지금?
Yes. Even as she lays there dying, she entirely believes herself to be alive and well. But it's over, isn't it? She stopped breathing moments ago, that arrogant look still plastered on her face. But is it over? Really over?
물론 아니지. 이거 너무 쉽잖아.
It's over. Don't get all worked up. We should make sure. What's the harm in checking for a pulse? I really don't think you should do that.
이건 또 얘는 또 왜 이래?
And why shouldn't we? Is there something you're not telling us? I've told you everything that's happened with complete accuracy. The princess is dead. Your blade pierced her heart. There's no coming back from that.
나가자.
Yes, exactly. It's over.
아이고 미안해.
With your work done, you make your way back up the stairs, closing the door to the basement behind you. Why do I feel like we've done something terrible?
I don't know.
You did kill someone. Greater good or not, something would be very wrong with you if you didn't feel at least a little bad. But it was for the greater good. One of these days that will sink in and help ease your guilty conscience.
갑툭튀. 100% 나온다 이거.
But that day isn't today. Let's just get out of here.
오케이 고고고. 빨리. 떠난다.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is nothing at all.
뭐야?
Where a lush forest stood mere minutes ago, the only thing in front of you now is the vast emptiness of some place far away.
뭐야? 무슨 일이야?
What happened? Everyone is fine. It's just that you and the cabin are now far away from them. Don't worry. You'll be safe here. This is good. Everyone is happy. You'll be happy.
완전 쓰레기네. 세상을 구한 대가로 더 좋은 결말을 얻길 바랐는데 말이야.
This isn't an ending. In fact, now that the princess has been slain, endings are a thing of the past. No. This is the beginning of eternity. Your reward. This is what's best for everyone. Trust me. Time passes. You can't be sure if it's days or months or years or even decades. It's all a wonderful, boring blur. You've never been happier. Psst. Hey. We're not just gonna stay here forever, right?
나는 여기가 좋아. 여기서 어떻게 나갈 수 있는지 혹시 알아?
I do, but you're probably not going to like it. The blade. We can use the blade to get out of this.
어떻게?
I can hear everything you say, little voice. There's only one thing it would want you to use that blade on, and I'm afraid that thing is you, dear hero. He's right. It's the only way out.
그거야? 스스로 그거 하는 거?
Do you hear that? It wants to take this happiness away from you. It wants this wonderful place to end. Do you not? There's more for us to do, and the only way for us to do it is to take that blade and use it. Don't you dare.
난 여기서 아무것도 안 하고 가만히 있을 거야. 한동안은. 아니야, 이 지옥을 벗어나기 위해서라면 무엇이든지.
Thank you.
나 용사가 조금 더 신용이 가.
I made this happy... Fine. Whatever. For the first time since time stopped meaning anything, you throw open the door to the basement and walk down the stairs.
페이스파 고장이 나가지고. 당신을 위해 제가 직접 이 작고 행복한 공간을 만들었단 말입니다. 세상을 구한 대가가 이 정도로는 충분하지 않았던 겁니까? 영원한 행복? 이렇게 배은망덕할 수가. 꺼져.
The princess's body is dust and bones, though the blade you used to slay her is still as pristine as the day you first held it.
어머.
You pick up the blade, you stab yourself, and you die.
오!
The end. Nice knowing you.
제2장 유령. 다른 장이다.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
정신 나갈 것 같아.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
내가 직접 죽였다니까! 내가 여기서 뭐 하는 거지?
I can assure you that you're not dead. And to answer your second question, you're
이거
here to slay the
했잖아.
princess. I literally told you that a second ago.
잘못 대답했는데?
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. That's fine. It wasn't very hard to kill her last time. We'll just do it again.
어머.
Well, if for whatever reason you're going to insist that this has happened before, at least your heart's in the right place.
일단은 오두막으로 향해. 이번에는 공주를
A
풀어보.
warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says.
공주를 풀어보도록 하겠습니다.
She won't be a problem.
들어가.
The interior of the cabin is cold, a soft odour of dirt permeating the air.
거울이야.
Cobwebs flutter in the corners. You can hear wind whistling outside, banging the shutters against the windows. The only furniture of note is an elegant antique table with a pristine blade perched on the edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. It feels like no one's been here for a long, long time. Like I've been saying, she's dead. We killed her already.
거울로 다가간다? 당신 벽에 있는 거울에 대해서는 한마디도 안 했잖아. 그거 내가
That's because there isn't a mirror. There's a table, the blade sitting on the table, and the door to the basement. There's nothing else in here.
오케이, 해설자랑 내가 보는 세상이 드디어 달라졌어.
There's definitely a mirror. There isn't. Who cares if there's a mirror? Let's just go into the basement and find her body so we can be done with this.
얼마나 잘생겼는지 확인하고 싶거든. 거울에 다가가자. 말 안 하는
Walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. This really isn't funny.
깨끗하게 닦는다.
You reach forward and
손이
rub
왜
your
저래?
hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
내 손이 왜 이렇게 막 이거 손톱 겁나 오랫동안 안 자르면 이렇게 되는 거 아니야? 나 사람 맞아? 나 사람 아닌 것 같은데 근데 이런 뭐라고 해야 되지? 털 있는 것 같기도 하고.
But it was there a second ago,
없어졌구나.
and now it's gone. Let's not spend much longer worrying over it. Clearly it's not even important enough to be acknowledged.
그냥 들어가자. 딸 안 챙겨. 이번에는 구해주자.
The door to the basement groans open, revealing an old banister and a creaky wooden stairwell. Everything is coated in a thick layer of dust, and you can feel it settle into your lungs as you breathe in the stale air. The very building itself feels dead. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor.
이거 1번, 2번 더빙이랑 목소리 톤 자체가 좀 다른 것 같아. 똑같은 대사 가지고 여러 번 더빙하신 것 같아.
The room below is silent. Nobody's here. Naturally. As much as I appreciate the optimism, you shouldn't be so sure. I guess we'll just have to go down and see.
날 부르는 여자의 목소리가 없어.
As you descend the final step, the form of the princess comes into view. A skeletal body lying in a heap on the floor, its wrist still bound to the wall by a thick chain.
얘 지금 당황했다.
Okay, she's definitely dead. It's just like I told you. Before you have a chance to finish your thought, the top of a head appears from underneath the floor.
왜 저래?
Two deep-set eyes stare up at you, followed by a mischievous skeletal grin.
유령이에요?
And finally, the rest of the body floats up to join the head. Wait, this isn't right. What's going on here? Ghost! Oh. Wow. How absolutely terrifying. What's a ghost supposed to do to us?
몰라.
Oh, it's you. Hiya, Keller. I was hoping to see you again. I have some issues with how our last meeting went.
우리 이거 칼빵 자국도 있어. 미안해요.
The princess drifts across the room into your orbit, gently running her fingers across your shoulders and down your neck as she circles you.
미안해. 진짜 미안해.
Her
나
touch
이번에
is cold and ethereal, formless yet real enough that her icy fingertips send shivers dancing across your skin.
나 진짜 이번에 너 도와주려고 왔어. 미안해 진짜로.
So she has a body, and she's right there. We could probably grab her and kill her again, if we wanted to. We don't even need a blade. She looks fragile enough to me.
지켜보자.
I see you don't have that annoying knife anymore. So, does that mean you regret what you've done?
네네.
Are you here to apologize and make nice?
No.
Beg for absolution, maybe? Because I might be interested in seeing a little begging.
아이고 그러시구나. 피해자 행세는 저번에 날 위협한 게 누군데? 이건 미안해. 그러면 안 됐는데. 미안해. 내가 어떻게 만회할 방법은 없을까? 당신의 죽을 원한 작자들이 날 속였어. 저거 친구라고 하지? 나도 죽어봤는데 너처럼 유령이 되어 둥둥 떠다니진 않았어. 무슨 일이 있었던 거야? 왜 나만 다른 거지? 너는 왜 다른 거야? 너무 많아. 이렇게 선택지 많으면 나 어떻게 해야 되는 거야? 자 얘들아 나 이제 모르겠다. 얘들아 나 모르겠다. 진짜야 진짜임. 진짜 모르겠다. 유령과 칼싸움하기. 나도 죽어봤는데 아니야 일단 사과부터 하자. 미안해. 그러면 안 됐는데.
Too little, too late.
미안해.
But you can still make things right.
She's not in a position to bargain with us. You don't have to do anything you don't want to. We don't have to do anything, but maybe we should. We did kill her. Wouldn't it be the moral thing to help her now that we have another chance? When a hero slays a monster, does he apologize to it?
뭐 그럴 수도 있지. 요즘 유행 모르는구나.
No. So don't try to make things right. She was going to end the world. You didn't do anything wrong, aside from apparently killing yourself, and that doesn't have much to do with her.
자, 나도 죽어봤는데 너처럼 유령이 되어 둥둥 떠나다니진 않았어. 무슨 일이 있었던 거야? 왜 나만 다른 거지? 너는 왜 다른 거야?
You don't look dead, killer.
아니야, 나 진짜 죽었어.
The princess grabs your wrist, a sudden shock of cold flowing all the way up your arm, her eyes still fixed on yours as you try to squirm out of her grip.
And you don't feel dead either.
She lets go and pulls away. Your fingertips tingle painfully as the chill subsides.
I'm less interested in why you are or how you are, and a lot more interested in what you are.
나 이 세계의 용사야.
I've tried to live on my own. Before you came back to me, I explored every inch of this place, even the spaces between the walls. But I never found a way out. I always wound up right back here. I just want to go home. I'm so cold and alone here.
미안해.
But you can come and go as you please, can't you? So, let me hitch a ride. After all, you owe me.
Absolutely not. Is she asking if she can possess us?
아, 빙의 쇼.
She is. And I hope I don't need to explain why you can't let that happen. It would be catastrophic if she managed to escape this place. And if you let her in, there is very little anyone could do to stop her. Would she be able to see us if we went along with it? Now, isn't that an interesting thought? We could finally bring her face to face with him.
Him?
I wonder what she would have to say to the one who wants her dead so badly.
아, 해설자랑 얘랑 이렇게 할 수 있다.
You won't like how things play out if you go down this path.
오두막만 벗어나면 방 뺄 거지? 일단 무슨 논의를 하기 전에 당신이 오두막을 벗어나면 무슨 일이 일어나는지부터 짚고 가자고. 그쪽이 세상을 멸망시킬 거라고 들었거든.
And what? You just believed that? You killed me without giving it any thought? That's cold.
That's rich coming from her. Every time she touches us, it's like we freeze over. She's right, though, but that's neither here nor there. What's done is done. What we do from this point forward is all that matters. Let's try not to let emotion get the better of it.
감정에 휘둘리지 말자고? 세상을 멸망시킬 거야? 세상을 멸망시킬 거야?
I don't know. I just wanted to leave. I still just want to leave.
세상을 아니야. 뭘 할 생각인데?
I don't know. Maybe I'll just fade away. Finally able to rest once I'm free from my unfinished business.
무슨 못다한
Maybe
일?
I'll find someone to haunt.
그게 무슨 소리니?
Maybe I'll haunt you.
아니야. 미안해.
It's a tough question, asking someone what she's going to do with her life.
The princess leans in close and pauses, the frigid air between you stale and unmoving.
Especially when that someone is dead.
잠깐만 뭐라고? 나 무서워가지고. 어떻게 살아갈 거냐니?
She pulls back with a playful giggle.
나 이거 약간 꿈꿀 것 같아. 어떡해?
I don't think most living people could answer that either. Does anyone actually know who they are or what they want?
그대로 둔다. 이거 해볼까? 벽을 통과할 수 있으면 그냥 나가면 되는 거 아니야? 널 죽인 후에 이 오두막이 순간이동했다고 해야 하나? 더 이상 숲이 아니었어. 시간의 흐름은 멈춰서 의미를 잃었지. 나 절로 빠져나온 거야. 알려줘.
You poor thing. That must have been so frightening for you.
You know, after everything we've been through, it's nice to see someone finally sympathising with us. This whole thing's been an ordeal, hasn't it? She doesn't mean it.
It serves you right. I was pretty scared too, when you stood there not saying a word with a knife clenched in your fist.
미안해요.
But now you know how bad it hurts to get stabbed in the chest.
미안합니다.
It sounds like you got exactly what you were owed.
미안해요. 진짜 미안해요. 빙의해.
The princess swims through the air in front of you, pausing for a brief moment as her dark-rimmed eyes stare deeply into yours. There's a hunger in her gaze.
I'm sorry.
You're really trying to make it up to me, aren't you? Thanks for being a pal, killer. I mean it.
그 와중에 살인자 씨라는 단어는 빼먹지 않으셨군요.
What are you doing? Don't just let her in. How many times do I have to tell you?
See you soon.
She rushes forward and then she's gone. A sharp chill spreads across your body. It starts in your chest, a freezing numbness flowing out from your heart, all the way down your limbs, your mind growing cloudy and confused as it settles over your very soul. I'm not sure I like this. Can we get a do-over?
난 괜찮아. 난 이게 차라리 나 얼굴이 안 보이는 게 난 나아가지고. 근데 소리는 너무
I'm afraid it's too late to stop now. The numbness gives way to a stabbing pain, your muscles twitching and convulsing violently, each involuntary movement causing more waves of agony to ripple across your body. You collapse to the floor, and everything goes dark.
Come on, you've got to get up. I know everything feels heavy right now, but we still have to get out of here.
Your eyes flick back open as you get your bearings, your vision swimming as...
So this is what it's like to be you, huh? Disembodied voice narrating your every move?
너 드디어 이 친구랑 말할 수 있구나. 말해.
So, it doesn't work like that for you?
너네 둘이 맞짱 까.
Clearly it doesn't, or she wouldn't have commented on it.
All these shards of broken glass on the floor. Are they also supposed to be you?
깨진 유리요? 무슨 유리요?
Hey, I'm not a shard of broken glass,
It's okay. You can finish your thought.
I'm a voice? I'm me is what I am. Who cares what we are? We exist. That's all that matters.
You don't have to fight. We'll all be out of here soon.
그래요.
No, it matters. What we are matters. If I'm a shard of broken glass, then that raises some questions about certain other voices in here too.
오케이.
I'm clearly the same thing you are.
They're not listening to me. Do they not listen to you either?
내 말 안 들어줘. 내가 제일 멍청이야.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about him. You don't need to know what I am. You just need to know that I'm different from you. More important.
얘가 제일.
So, you're the one who pulled the strings and made me dead. I can tell you don't belong here. You're barely even there. Like the shape of something left behind. You're more of a memory than a person.
That's rude.
무례하다구.
You're kind of like me, actually.
그게 무슨 소리니?
I'm just going to ignore her. You push yourself off the ground. The princess is nowhere to be seen. Obviously, she's nowhere to be seen.
얘 약간 츠코미 당당이구나. 당연히 없지. 내 몸에 빙의했는데 보이겠니?
Because I'm in here with all of you. Everybody knows that.
I'm setting the stage. The room is empty because you made a spiteful, idiotic, and all-round foolish decision.
야, 디스.
You don't have to let him get to you. You're better than that. You're starting to make things right.
약간 잘한 선택인 걸까를 의심하게 되는 게 잠깐 갑자기 내 머릿속에 나를 가스라이팅하는 존재들이 하나가 더 늘어났어.
This is infuriating. Just whatever you do, you can't leave this place. It's not too late to fix this. Probably.
바로 생각을 못 하겠어. 너무 시끄러워.
It's okay. We're almost out of here. Just take it one step at a time and everything will be fine.
Everything won't be fine if you listen to her. One way or another, this is all going to end. Wouldn't it be nice if he ends with it?
해설자? 해설자도 같이 끝내면 좋지. 나 해설자가 제일 별로야.
Wouldn't that be nice? There's only one way to find out.
나가.
Your legs, weary with the weight of the princess's spectral form and clumsy with the cold that still pervades them, stumble towards the stairs.
I'm just trying to get home. You don't have to act like it's the end of the world.
But that's exactly what you leaving this place is going to be.
You don't know that.
I do.
해설자가 설마 제일 처음에 죽었나?
Wait, if she has a home to go back to, doesn't that mean that her leaving won't end the world? It doesn't mean that at all. It could mean that wherever her home is, it's outside of the world.
공주가 이세카이 사람이었던 거야?
Yeah, but it has to be somewhere, doesn't it? And if it's somewhere, then it's part of the world. I suppose it's all a matter of perspective. Where does the world end and something else begin? Does the destruction of one open a door to another? Or is it the same world reborn? Against the backdrop of the inane conjecture of meaningless little voices, your body continues its ascent up the stairs, staggering through the open door. For how much you hate her, you aren't doing a whole lot to stop us from leaving this place.
맞아.
Maybe the bossy one doesn't actually hate me. Maybe he even likes me. Or maybe he just knows that he's been in the wrong. Maybe he's trying to make amends too.
그건 아닌 것 같아. 그냥 약간 자포자기한 것 같은데?
Not at all. I'll have you know that I do hate you, and I will continue to hate you for as long as I am able. It's just the weight of it all. It's too much for me to do anything other than describe and dictate.
왜? 뭘 숨기는 거지? 나 좀 알려줘.
And whine. This body wasn't made to hold you and the princess. If you want to renege on your cataclysmically terrible decision a minute ago, well, you're the only one that can make that happen.
나아가자. 공주의 말을 처음부터 끝까지 들어주자.
You continue slowly to the door, your feet like lead dragging across the floorboards, growing heavier with each step.
We're so close. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If we get out of here, I won't even care that you murdered me anymore.
You lift your shaking hand and rest it on the door handle, but you pause before you open it, exhaustion sapping what's left of your will. Was exhaustion really the best you could muster up? It's over. There's no use stalling. Let's see what happens next.
열어.
Shit. But exhaustion wasn't enough, was it? The handle clicks as you twist it, and then the door groans open. You collapse to the ground, you and the princess,
무서워.
free from the confines of the cabin. As you exhale from the effort, you look up and see... yes?
Nothing. He's gone, and so is everything else.
뭐야.
So we did slay him after all.
어?
He had it coming, I suppose.
해수자가 죽었다고?
But what about us? Are we just stuck here in nowhere forever? Did taking her out of the cabin really end the world? We're still here. Yeah, but that thing you said earlier, are we not part of the world anymore? Are we in some world that exists after the world ends, or on top of the other world but not in it, or have we never been part of the world?
Okay, I've heard enough from these two. Let's see if I can pop out.
오! 움푹 가라앉은 눈동자가 몸에서 나와 응시하는 게 느껴지자 가슴이 한결 가벼워졌다.
You actually freed me, didn't you? I'm outside. Thanks for giving me a second chance, killer.
Don't mention it.
아 무서워 미안해.
I think this is where I'm meant to be.
어머! 그게 무슨 소리예요? 그러나 당신은 대답할 수 없었다. 무언가가 그녀를 데려갔고 대신 다른 무언가를 남겼다. 거울.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her? And there's that mirror again. Why is it here? Why now?
거울을 봐야 할 것 같은데. 다가가.
I'm begging you, don't do this.
나한테 말하네? 전에는 거울에 겁먹지 않았잖아.
It's different now. It feels, I don't know, final.
근데 거울 말고는 우리한테 그게 없어.
Ignore him. You have to look.
얘는 또 왜 이래? 당신은 거울에 다가간다. 갑툭튀! 내 파사대 모습을 본다! 아이씨! 앞으로 손을 뻗자 침묵이 내려앉는다. 그들은 사라졌지만 거울은 남아있다. 이제 거울 안에 무엇이 있는지 확인할 차례다! 짠! 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 당신이군. 뭐야 이거? 약간 그거 같은데? 그 러스티 레이크 시리즈에 있는 그 겁나 새까만 그 존재. 당신의 텅 빈 공간에 홀로 있다. 이곳은 정막이 흐른다. 오두막으로 향한다? 해설자가 약간 질서 역할을 하나? 세계의 질서인가? 당신은 오두막에 있다. 공주에게 다가갔다. 공주야, 당신은 껍질한 존재를 인식한다. 그 사이에 공간에 기거하는 존재를.
Something returns to the long quiet. It has surrendered its path of annihilation and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel.
하나. 내가 숙박 공간에서 만난 존재가 당신인 거지? 꿈인 줄 알았어.
Vague recollections, empty tunnels without a mouth. I am sorry if I frightened you.
약간 그건가? 신? 전체가 뭐예요?
I am solitary lights in an empty city. What are you?
난 용사야. 고독한 불빛? 그게 무슨 뜻이지?
Thoughts without connections. A dim and nascent network. I wish to be more.
난 사람이야. 아니 난 내가 뭔지 잘 몰라 사실. 나 사람 아닌 것 같아. 나도 약간 이상한 애인 것 같아.
I think that you are like me.
그럼 저도 지금 이렇게 수많은 팔들이 이렇게 하고 있나요?
We are oceans, reduced to shallow creeks.
연약한 그릇의 선물?
Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own.
This one is vaporous. She is a dream of a life she could never have, but that longing has given her so much capacity for kindness. She will make for a yearning heart.
이거 공주의 그거를 약간 그릇으로 한 거야? 그럼 잠깐만 다시. 할 수 없는 삶을 하지만
Do not mourn her. She will finally be able to hold what she never knew.
공주를 밖으로 꺼내. 해설자를 알아? 이게 세상의 종말인가? 이게 세상의 종말인가요?
How can the world have ended if we are talking?
해설자를 알아요?
You are the only thing I have ever known. The space we're in is vacant. Nothing comes here but us.
공주를 처치하라고 보낸 게 당신. 어머, 나 이거 뭐 잠깐 화면 깜빡이었는데? 보낸 게 당신이야? 당신이 날 여기에 가둔 거야?
I have only just now stirred to consciousness. I could not have trapped you here, and I too yearn to be free.
이곳 너머의 세계에 대해 알아?
I know only that they are.
They are. 존재한다는 것만 알고 있다. 뭐 이런 식인 건가? 당신이 공주야?
She is part of me, and part of me is her.
처음부터 당신이 공주였던 거야? 아니면 공주를 당신의 일부로 삼은 거야?
You speak in circles. Does it matter where one thing begins and another ends?
네. 공주를 밖으로 꺼내.
I'm sorry. There are some changes that can never be undone. There are some tears that can never be unshed. This is not a place that can hold a fragment of a concept. The moment she arrived here, she was going to return to me.
그럼 내가 지금 공주의 멸망을 지금 토래한 건가?
I promise that it doesn't hurt.
그럼 이제 어떻게 돼?
Nothing, as we are. But I know that there are worlds beyond us, and that we are meant to reach them. There is no exit, but this vessel is a creature of perception. She can make you forget, if only you believe her to be able to.
내가 잊을 수 있도록 할 수 있다고? 믿기만 하면.
Bring me more perspectives, so that I may be whole, and perhaps then we will know our freedom.
아, 그럼 이 사람한테 막 이거를 이렇게 막 갖다 줘야 되는구나. 내가 당신을 처치할 방법을 찾진 않을까 걱정 안 돼?
I have not lived. I am not afraid to die.
어렵네. 얼마나 잊어?
Everything. Until we meet again.
이 사람 어떻게 만났지? 공주를 죽이고 두 번째 빙의쇼 시켜가지고 만났지? 오케이. 당신의 파편을 얼마나 더 찾아야 되지?
More than you have found, but less than there are to find. I am infinite. The rest will find their own way home.
잠깐만요. 얼마나 더 찾아야 돼? 내가 찾은 것보다 많지만 찾아야 할 것보단 적다고? 개소리요. 허락하지 않으면 어떻게 되지?
Then we will be here forever, as we are now. Unfinished, dry, hollow.
나는 세상을 멸망시키려는 공주를 처치하는 임무를 받았어. 당신을 도와주면 세상을 망하게 할 거니?
You ask of things that cannot be done. To destroy is merely to reshape, to remold.
단어 뜻만 가지고 장난치긴. 내가 당신을 도와주면 뭘 어떻게 할 거지?
How can I know? I am flickers in something sprawling and unilluminated.
알았어. 잊게 해줘.
She asks that I tell you to remember her.
자기는 당신을 기억할 거라고 전해달라더군. 기억 안 해줬으면 좋겠는데.
You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
이번에는 진짜로 한번 구해봅시다. 조용히 오두막으로 향한다. 라라라라.
You make your way up.
라라라라라라 들어간다. 라라라라라라. 여실로 들어간다. 라라라라라라. 당신을 구하러 왔어.
How many times do I have to tell you how dangerous letting her out of here would be before it finally sinks in?
몰라. 무슨 뭐 관점을 많이 갖다 달래.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me? I was starting to think I'd be stuck down here forever. Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
너가 아주 잘하는 얼굴이야.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
공주는 기억을 계속 잃지 않고 계속 도루마무인가 봐. 그래서 나를 이렇게 미워하는 거 아닐까?
I hope you brought something to deal with these chains.
아무것도 안 갖고 왔는데.
Don't do it. If she gets out of those chains, we're all one step closer to the end.
내가 할 수 있는 일이 있는지 볼게. 얘기부터 먼저 하자.
Okay.
내보내주면 뭘 할 생각이야?
The
물어봤나?
princess hesitates before responding. She doesn't know. She's been down here too long to have any idea of what she'd do in another life. She knows what she'd do. She's just searching for whatever answer she thinks you want to hear.
Are you looking for the truth, or are you looking for the right answer?
진실.
Because with the dynamic we have going on here, I don't think the specifics of what I do really matter.
진실을 알려줘.
It's not like you'd believe me.
아니야, 진짜 믿어줄게. 진짜 미안해. 젠장. 좋아. 당신을 여기서 꺼내줄게. 이 결정을 후회하게 하지 마.
You're You're only making this more difficult.
살아있는 채로는 한 번도 안 했으니까.
Thank you, and you won't. I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, you're doing the right thing.
맞아.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to even imagine trying to break them apart.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
열쇠라는 거는 나에게 주어지지 않았어.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess away down here intended for her to never see the light of day. They wouldn't have just left the key to her chains somewhere in the cabin.
열쇠가 없을 수도 있는데 다른 방법은 없을까? 아니야, 아직 어딘가에 있을지도 몰라. 왜냐면 거울이 있었는데 거울이 없다고 했으니까 있을 수도 있어. 만약 열쇠가 없더라도 최소한 사슬을 푸는데 도움이 될 무언가를 찾을 수는 있겠지?
Okay. I'll be here. Good luck.
You attempt to make your way out of the basement, but the door at the top of the stairs slams shut. You hear the click of a lock sliding into place.
누가 있는데?
Is someone else here?
문을 열어본다.
You try the door, but it's locked from the outside.
뭐야? 이봐, 날 여기서 꺼내줘.
Your shouts and pleas are met with silence. You're here to slay the princess, and you won't leave until the task is done.
근데 칼이 없지롱. 다시 계단 아래로 돌아간다. 아, 이거 해설자가 나 가둔 거구나. 열쇠 있네, 오두막에.
You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. This would have been so much easier if you'd just taken the blade like you were supposed to. Easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked you down here too, didn't they?
같이 죽자 그냥. 난 모르겠다.
There's a slight panic rising in the princess's voice.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
그래, 우리 힘을 합쳐서 나가볼까?
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you, the clang of bouncing metal.
너무 무서워.
It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now.
이거 해설자야, 해설자.
Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
공주를 구해.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against the ragged, self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just
Oh my
above the
gosh.
unyielding chain binding her to this place. You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp,
진짜
and it
잔인하다.
takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit.
모자이크 해야 되겠는데 이거?
She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
가자. 문이 잠겨 있지만.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. You can't just let her escape into the world. No, I can't just let her escape into the world. As the princess approaches the bottom stair, your body steps forward and raises the blade.
왜 저래? 나 아니야. 나 아니야. 이거 진짜 나 아니야.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
나 아니야. 진짜 나 아니야. 진짜 나 아니야. 어머! 경고해.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it?
나
You know you don't have to do this, right?
악령한테 빙이 됐어.
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect.
야 포즈 야 얘 닌자인데?
Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive.
나 괴물 같아. 나 팔이 괴물이야. 공주를 처치한다. 아니야 이거 또 있을 거야. 저항해.
The blade. Move the blade.
저항해.
As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
가까이 오지 마.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
죽여줘.
She plunges it into your chest, tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
나 괴물 맞는 거 같아 근데 이거.
Oh no. I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake? Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
어머.
Sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not, though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
어머.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
제2장 숙녀. The damsel. Damsel in distress.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
내가 할 수 있는 건 다 하지 않았나 근데? 죽이려고 했다가 실패하기, 죽이기, 살리기 다 하지 않았나?
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
I am 너무 무서워요. 이 나쁜 자식, 넌 이제 끝장이야. 네 속임수는 다 알고 있어.
My tricks? What on earth are you talking about? We just met for the first time.
꺼져.
If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way.
용사는 계속 기억하고 용사랑 나는 동일 그건 아니긴 해. 근데 용사랑 나랑 거의 비슷한 우린 거의 이거 하나를 공유를 하고 있고 해설자는 항상 기억을 잃는 거야. 우리가 죽을 때마다 늘 까먹어. 오케이.
Yes, he didn't approve of us last time, did he? If we're going to save our beloved, we'll have to be sneaky about it.
사랑하는 그녀를 구하지 않을 거라면
Our beloved? Yes, you'll have to be very sneaky about your intentions if you're going to try and save the princess. Ah, so all of the cards are on the table. Then you should know that we and the princess are in love, and the four of us will be foiling any and all assassination attempts you've got in the works.
우리 넷, 나, 용사, 상사병. 근데 이게 영어로는 네가 하는 암살 시도 약간 이런 식으로 했거든요. 그러니까 그게 네라는 게 해설자란 말이야. 그러니까 해설자는 이 네 명에 포함이 되어 있을 수가 없어.
We'll see about that. Whatever you do, just be sure to ignore him specifically. It sounds like he's the sort who'd sacrifice the whole world for a peck on the cheek. What can I say? A world without love is a world that isn't worth saving.
힘들어. 가자.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her.
그래.
Don't believe a word she says.
We already told you we're not playing along with your little game. It's your lies that can't be trusted. Her beauty is the only thing in the world we can believe in.
I think we've already been over this. I'm pretty sure he just likes the sound of his own voice.
I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed.
Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead.
이건 나한테 얘기하는 거다. 이거 용사한테 얘기하는 거 아니고 미 지금 플레이하는 나. 이거 왜냐면은 쓸데없는 말싸움이 그들의 말싸움, 그들의 쓸데없는 말싸움에 어쩌고 그 페이 어텐션 하지 말라고 했거든요. 이거 나한테 말을 하는 거야. 들어가. 이번에는 거울, 이번에는 열쇠, 이번에는
The interior of the cabin is clean and elegant.
바뀌었어.
Its stone walls draped in fine threaded tapestries. A prison befitting a royal prisoner. The only furniture of note is an ornate wooden table with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
자, 이번에는 거울이 있는 척 하지 말자.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
거울로 다가간다.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall.
뭐야?
It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime.
깨끗하게 닦는다.
You reach forward and rub your hand against the cabin wall. I hope you know how ridiculous you look right now.
근데 이거 거울 있는 거 아니야, 이거?
But there was a mirror a second ago.
또 없어진 거야?
And now it's gone. Pity. We could have a feather out of place and now we'll never know. We can't gallantly sweep her off her feet if we have a feather out of place.
이걸로 됐네. 이거 뭐야, 이거 깃발. 들어가. 나의 시체가 있는 건 아니지?
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an intricate stairwell. Gold-trimmed carpet glimmers in the light of the torches positioned along the walls. The basement almost seems welcoming in the dim firelight.
이게 진짜 공주의 거처 아님?
But it's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I can hear wedding bells already.
진짜. 얘는 좀 킹받는데?
I've held my tongue till now, but you're taking this a little too far. We barely even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this over-the-top fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall.
My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment.
You know she can't hear you, right?
She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit.
상사병이 있는 상태에서 얘 빙의하고 싶은데? 너무 웃길 것 같아.
Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. I didn't want to believe your ravings back in the woods, but this is next to incontrovertible evidence. You've been here before.
아니야, 우리 처음 왔어. 무슨 소리야?
That's right, villain, and you killed us.
다 불어버리면 어떡해?
Well, she killed us.
Only because he made us try and kill her, it was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty.
And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time.
아니야, 우리 사랑하자.
We damned a whole world. But everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever. Especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible.
뭐지? 나 진짜 잘 모르겠어 이제. 지난번의 일은 미안하게 생각해. 당신을 죽이라고 날 여기로 보낸 해설자가 내 몸을 빼앗았어. 아주 불공평했지.
If another version of me was pushed to such drastic action, it was for good reason.
That's okay. You were just doing your best, and that's all that matters.
얘는 기억하고 있네.
She took that in stride. To a surprising extent. An almost unsettling extent, actually.
That's because she's perfect.
금사야, 조용히 해, 금사빠야.
Do you think she has someone like him telling her what to do? She doesn't. There's no one else like me.
근데 얘가 해설자랑 얘기했을 때 너랑 나랑 좀 비슷한 것 같아 막 이랬죠?
I think he's right, because I like it better if she doesn't have some horrid little voice like him, always trying to drive her to violence.
구해 일단. 아닌가? 뭔가 기억을 하는 것 같으니까. 내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었어?
You died, and now we're talking.
오케이. 칼을 가져오지 않았는데 하지만 우리가 대화를 나누기 전에 세상이 끝나지 않았어? 네가 세상을 끝장냈니?
I don't know. Was I supposed to have ended the world? Would that have made you happy?
Isn't that just like our darling princess? She wants to make us happy. My heart melts further with every word that passes through her beautiful lips.
쓰러진다 쓰러져.
Are you listening to her? That's a confession.
인간들은 전염병에 불과할 뿐이야. 당신이 모든 인간을 천천히 고통스럽게 파멸시켜줬으면 좋겠어. 난 세계의 종말을 원하지 않아.
Then I didn't end the world.
See? She didn't confess anything. She is innocence itself.
나한테 지금 내 기분 맞춰주는 목소리 말을 하고 있네.
Not so sure.
난 칼을 가져오지 않았어. 내가 다시 너를 베어내야만 할까?
I'm okay with whatever you come up with. You can cut my arm off again.
We won't be laying a finger on her perfect wrists, and indeed, we won't even have to. Do you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her right out with no harm done.
What? No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. Why are you two arguing over the logistics of slipping her hand out of her shackles? She just said she'd be okay with any idea we came up with. Am I the only one here who thinks that's weird?
She didn't care last time. Why should she care this time? That's our stoic, smiling angel.
잠깐만. 공주가 원하는 대로 무엇이든 해도 괜찮다. 이게 이상하다는 생각이 드는 건 나뿐인가? 나 이게 해설자인 줄 알았는데 용사였네.
No, you're right. It's extremely bizarre behavior and further evidence that she's a monster who's not to be trusted. So go ahead and slay her.
근데 어쩔 수 없어. 나는 구한다는 선택지밖에 없어.
No. I can't let you do that. If you take another step towards the princess, I'll... You'll what? Take over our body and force us to try and kill her? I would if you had a weapon.
Not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought.
You wouldn't.
I would.
I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings. And doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed.
근데 아니 이미 그냥 이렇게 되는 것 자체가 그냥 얘는 이미 빠져나올 수 있는 거잖아. 아 머리가 아프고 너무 이 다음에 나올 일러스트가 너무 무서워서 지금 너무 두려워요.
I can't believe it. But I guess I have to.
I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you.
미안해.
Thank you so much.
처음부터 널 구해줬어야 됐어.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved.
근데 이미 죽었는데 이미 세상 한번 멸망해가지고 이제 난 죽이는 선택은 이제 못 하겠어.
Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon.
Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
사랑의 힘!
What do we do now?
몰라? 결혼해? 내가 뭘 하기를 원해?
Let me guess. End the world?
Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before. I mean, you sort of did last time, but this is different.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
얼굴 표정 변한다.
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection.
아닌가?
And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
이럴 땐 또 너무 순수해가지고 진짜 I really don't know. 분명 네가 원하는 게 있을 거야.
I just want to make you happy.
어머. 해피가 아닌데?
She can't just want to make us happy.
It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
너만의 것이 필요해. 너랑 나는 방금 만난 사이잖아. 너의 행복이 오로지 나에게만 달리는 건 안 될 일이야.
Okay, if that's what makes you happy.
미안해. 눈이 과하게 켜지고 있는데 미안해.
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
나가자. 아 근데 이미 늦었다. 어떡해? 여기서 나가자.
That sounds perfect.
어.
Oh, phew. She's back to normal.
영사야. 나 너무 힘들어. 너무 많은 일이 있었어, 진짜.
Normal? What are you talking about? Our angel has always been like this. Absolutely flawless.
The princess takes your hand, the last hopes of the entire world slipping through your fingers as they intertwine with hers.
We have each other. We don't need the world for our happy ending.
I like to think that you do, actually. Look, I have my doubts, but the choice has been made and this is happening. You don't have to mope about it. I will mope about it, because moping is the only recourse you love-blind fools have left me with. you and the princess walk up the stairs hand in hand. Ugh, look at the way she's smiling at you. She doesn't have to be so happy about this. And what happens after we walk up the stairs?
그 여자를 다시 만나나요?
Let's see. Oh, isn't that interesting? The door slams in your face and the lock clicks. That's a familiar move. Did I do that last time? Then you should know that you won't be able to leave.
또.
Oh no! Did someone lock us in here? That's not fair! We're supposed to leave now.
She's right. It isn't fair. But the unfairnesses of the world are no match for the strength of true love.
Enough with this true love nonsense. You just met her.
손에 막 땀이 나서 지금 너무 무섭습니다.
Of course you wouldn't understand. Our passions run deeper than anything you have ever known.
Are you listening to this? You don't have to go along with the every whim of that delusional voice.
I'm just along for the ride at this point.
같이 해보면 열 수 있을 것 같아.
Okay, yeah, let's do it.
Like a pair of teenagers in love, you and the princess place your hands on the door together. Blech.
And
The lock clicks and the door creaks open. Are you kidding me?
I told you our love was insurmountable.
그래, 같이 해야 됐어.
You and the princess make your way upstairs and... The blade, that's right, there's still a chance for you to do the right thing. Take the blade from the table and slay her before it's too late.
넌 하지 못할 거야.
You're enjoying this, aren't you? You're taking every opportunity you can to draw out the end of the world and make me suffer. I hate you.
그래, 헤이트해.
You know, if her walking out that door is really gonna end the world, can't we all just stay here? Seems like an easy win for everyone.
그래, 우리 여기서 그냥 같이 살까?
That's not how this works.
Yes, what he said. That's not how this works. Obviously, we have to leave with her.
It's our happy ending.
여기서 선택을 해야 되네. 오 마이 갓. 여기는 칼이 있어서 서로만 있으면 아니야, 떠나고 싶다고 했어. 떠나자.
Yes, I suppose you are going to do that, aren't you? You cross the room, opening the door to the cabin, and then you step outside.
사랑이 당신을 해방할 것입니다.
Our happy ending at last.
We did it! What should we do now?
농사 지을까?
Where did everything go? Where did he go?
Oh, is he gone? I hadn't noticed. I was too busy staring deep into our beloved's eyes.
I'm cold. Is being happy supposed to be so cold?
아니, 그건 아닌데.
She's cold. Quick, our feathers. Pluck them all and weave her a coat worthy of a princess.
아, 우리의 깃털. 그래, 나는 인간이 아닌 게 맞네. 안녕. 잘 가. 하지만 당신은 외투를 만들 수 없습니다. 앞으로도 영영 볼 수 없을 것이다. 이제 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone. Where did she go? Should we try and find her?
거울 아니야? 왜 여기 있지? 왜 하필 지금? 당연히 두렵겠지. 충분히 무서울 만해. 하지만 이건 끝이 아니야. 자, 이제 내가 용사를 가스라이팅할 차례가 됐습니다. 괜찮을 거야. 나만 믿어. 우린 이 상황이 처음이 아니야. 두 번째거든. 어째 넌 매번 겁에 질리더라.
It feels so bad. Like looking into it right now is going to be the end of everything.
아니야.
Yes, I fear that we won't like what we'll see. What if we just sit here and preen for a while? That can't hurt,
아니야.
right?
아니야. 내겐 끝이지만 나한테는 아니야. 반대편에서 만나자고. 괜찮을 거야.
Okay. If you say so. She'll be there waiting for us. I just know it.
다가가자. 괜찮아. 거울이 다가간다. 반사된 모습을 본다. 거울은 언제나 저들을 떠나가게 한다. 어쨌든 이제 거울 안을 확인할 차례다. 확대. 난 성장했대요. 당신은 성장했다. 다시금 기나긴 정막으로 돌아왔다. 오두막으로 향한다. 오두막에 있다. 공주에게 다가간다.
Flickering lights and empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before.
힘들어.
Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again.
당신은 이전과 같은 존재인가? 얼마나 변했지?
Is a child the same as an infant?
너무 힘들어.
I am an unbroken pattern, but every vessel gives fresh perspectives and carves new avenues of expression. I am different, but I am the same.
그렇군요. 무슨 말이 죄다 뜬구름 잡는 소리처럼 들리는데 한 번만이라도 직설적으로 답해줄 순 없니?
I'm
제발.
sorry. Words are difficult for me. They never fully weave what I wish to say. If you do not like my answers, then you need not ask me questions. The vessels you choose to bring me carry far more meaning than anything words could say in the spaces between.
이런 식의 변화는 어떤 느낌이지?
Eyes close in reflection. Perspectives meld together, and the breadth of my experience stretches to new corners. There are contradictions, conflicts in my nature, and there are familiarities that bind everything together. It feels correct. This is what I need to be. This is the only path forward.
당신이 완성되면 내가 왜 당신을 죽이지? 뭘 하고 싶지 하면은 절대로 모를 것 같거든요? 몰라 뭐 이런 식으로 할 거기 때문에 당신은 내게 만난 그 누구보다 친절했어. 맞는 말. 고마워.
Why wouldn't I be kind to you? You are the only thing I know that isn't me.
짧네. 다음엔 뭘 가져다 주면 좋겠어?
Gifts aren't what someone tells you to bring them.
그러면?
My joy isn't seeing what you choose. There are no wrong answers, and every perspective illuminates my shadows and shares new secrets.
이 그릇을 어떻게 생각하니?
This one is soft and delicate. You molded her to love you, and she'll make for a gentle heart. Do not mourn her. She has served her purpose.
라라라라라라라라라라라. 머리. 어떤 방식으로 변화하거나 성장하고 싶은지 특별한 선호는 없어?
My preference is for you to show me what you would like me to see. I cannot know the ways I wish to grow, for I have yet to feel them. It is you who guides me down the thin trail of perspective and memory.
당신을 다치게 하고 싶지 않아. 근데 돌아가면 돌아갈수록 상황이 더 나빠질까봐 두려워.
The vessels are shaped by memories of you, but their impulses are drawn to the edge of the long quiet. To them, you are a gate to something more. and any hurt you've caused them is understood as a fair price for freedom. But they are only thoughts and perspectives. They are not me. The wounds they've suffered carve texture around my heart. Without them, I would be as I was before. I would be alone and without sensation. I could not feel the joy of having you by my side, for I would not know your absence.
너무 심오해서 약간 이해를 못하겠어. 그릇을 얼마나 더 전해줘야 해? 언제면 게임이 끝나? 공격할 수가 있구나.
If I am to be an ocean, you have nurtured me into a pond.
아이고.
My waters are shallow and murky, and I yearn for more perspective. You will have your rest in due time, and I am sorry for the burdens I place on you.
그래. 돌아갈래.
I will long for your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again.
기다리고 있었기 때문에 무섭지 않았습니다.
You're on a path.
엔딩을 계속 해야 되는 건가? 아, 진짜 머리 아프네. 이거 어떻게 하냐 이거? 어떻게 해야 하는지 알려줘서
Don't
고마워.
mention it. It's all part of the job. You make your way.
오두막으로 들어간다. 아, 용사죠?
The interior of the cabin is almost entirely
아... 어떤 선택지를 더 내릴 수가 있는 거지?
The door to
이건 진짜 너무 무서울 것 같아서 나 이거 선택 못할 것 같아. 안녕.
Don't be a stranger. It's been so long since I've had any visitors. Please, come downstairs.
You walk down the stairs and lock.
저는 얘기부터 할까?
Okay.
당신을 여기에 계속 가둬둘래. 적어도 한동안은 어떻게 할지 결정을 내릴 동안 서로에 대해 알아가 보자고.
That seems like a pretty good
아,
compromise.
이거 했었구나. 아, 젠장할. What happened? 아, 무서운 거를 넘어갔거든요. 아, 봐달라고. 좋아, 꺼내줄게. 내가 이거 보고
Can't be serious.
칼 가져왔었지. 이거 보고 무서워가지고.
Thank you. Thank you. You won't regret this, I promise.
You're making a huge mistake. No, I think you're doing the right thing.
나보고 옳은 결정하는 것 같대, 용사가.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall.
또 그거다. 위층 갔는데 위층 잠겼었죠? 열쇠가 없을 수도 있는데 다른 방법은 없을까?
Maybe there's some way to break the chains? Or if that doesn't work, I guess we can always cut me out of them.
She offers the suggestion with almost complete nonchalance. If we were stuck down here long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting our way out if it meant we could finally be free. You attempt to make your way out of the... You tried it.
오케이, 안 된다. 그러면 어쩔 수
You make your
없다.
way to the bottom of...
어! 공주를 처치한 데밖에 안 되는데? 미안해.
Without hesitation, you bring the blade down and plunge it into the princess's back. Finally, the wound drives her to the ground. Okay, there's no going back now. I'm with you to the end.
나도 죽어?
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
아니야.
The princess pushes away from you, the motion ripping the blade from her back. Wounded, but still alive, she crouches on all fours in the corner of the room and meets your eyes with the ferocity of a cornered predator.
내가 괴물이야, 내가 괴물.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's nothing in the world that can possibly save you from me.
I thought we had the upper hand, but it's as if she's barely even threatened by us.
내가 설마 그 영혼 같은 거에 자꾸 뭘 갖다 받쳐가지고 얘가 좀 강해졌나?
It's an act. She's wounded and unarmed. There's nothing she can do to hurt you. I'm not so sure. Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, she lunges at your legs with the same animal ferocity she used to tear at her arm. Your blade cuts into her again and again as you're tackled to the ground, your body racked with pain as she rips into you with tooth and claw.
Oh my goodness.
Forget about trying to rescue her. This is about survival now. Give her everything you've got.
미안해.
Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your fair share of damage as well, your blade having left deep gashes in the princess's back. You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you and shakily push yourself back to your knees. We can still turn this around.
I don't know. I really don't know. I don't know. 어떡해요? 도망가자마자 이렇게 될 것 같은데 그냥 내가 죽는 게 낫지 않냐? 포기한다.
Are you serious? As what's left of your blood pools around you on the cobblestone floor, the blade falls from your trembling hands and clatters uselessly against the ground. I suppose you simply lacked the will to finish the job. The princess, wounded but still alive, nervously jumps at the blade and kicks it far away from you before retreating into a dark corner of the room.
날 안 죽인다고? 날 죽여줘!
Her shining eyes watch you from the darkness, unblinking and curious as you bleed out. We can only hope the wounds you managed to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, they'll kill her before she can reach the outside world.
After all this time alone, I thought I'd finally found a friend, but you were just another monster, weren't you?
미안해요.
This is the end, isn't it? Before you can answer, everything goes dark and you die.
편안. 휴. 편안. 야수. 지금 몇 개가 있는 거죠,
You're
이거?
on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
공주야.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
거절하겠어.
Oh, don't you start grandstanding about morals. The fate of the world is at risk right now, and the life of a mere princess shouldn't stop you from saving us all. If he doesn't remember what happened, then maybe it's best to keep it that way. If he doesn't remember what happened,
사냥감.
then something else must have trapped us here. You're not trapped here. Nobody's forcing you to do anything, though the only sensible thing for you to do right now is march up to that cabin and slay the princess.
그래, 가자. 난 모르겠어, 이제.
A warning. Before you go any, she will lie. Does a cat lie to a cornered mouse when it plays with its freedom? Or is it just acting out its nature?
I don't see why that matters. A lie's a lie, and if anything, she's the one who's cornered.
She could have gotten out of there whenever she wanted to. We should trust nothing that she tells us, only what we hear and smell.
오케이.
That's a very roundabout way of saying that you should listen to me and take this seriously. Maybe.
들어가.
The interior of the cabin is ruinous and dilapidated. It feels like no one has lived here for a long time, wind rushing in through cracks and holes in the wooden walls. The only furniture of note is a termite-eaten table with a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
무서워요. 갈까? 그냥 갈까?
No steel claw. Do you think we can talk our way out of this? I don't think she wants to talk.
그래?
I guess we'll just have to trust that we made the right call. It'll still be here if we need it.
잘못한 것 같기도 하고.
The door to the basement creaks open, revealing what's left of an old wooden staircase. It's still sturdy enough that you can make your way down in one piece, though you'll have to be mindful of holes. The air seeping up from below is oddly warm and wet, as if you're descending into a jungle. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. She growls up the stairs.
으르렁거리는데.
I can smell you.
미안합니다.
She sounds almost feral, impatient, or maybe eager. You carefully make your way down the stairs.
왜 안 보여줘?
The last step gives way to the damp earth floor of a starlit pit.
덩그린데?
The walls are obscured by an impenetrable darkness, giving the illusion that the room might stretch on forever. You brush against the wide leaves of plants that surround you on all sides, seemingly the only living things that occupy this strange underground wilderness. The jungle is pressing in on us, hiding her from view. She could be anywhere.
여기 있잖아.
You see only a flash of the princess before she scurries away into the underbrush, dragging her heavy chain behind her. Remember, she's just a princess.
She is certainly not just a princess.
You're not helping. It doesn't matter what she is. It only matters what she does. Her shining eyes appear between the leaves, staring hungrily at you from the darkness.
여기 있다.
I can hear your heart pounding from the bottom of the stairs, fledgling. You're right to be terrified. I'm so much more than you.
미안해.
A shiver rushes up your spine and pulls you upright. The air's shifting. She's getting ready to pounce. Move, now.
움직여.
You lunge to the side, picking a direction on instinct. As you land, you're buffeted by a gust of air, disturbed by the sudden motion of a massive body. The princess. In an instant, she's pounced on the spot where you would have been, her chains rattling across the floor behind her.
이게 공주요?
Before you can blink, she's gone, vanishing once more into the shadows. But you still feel...
You're faster than you were before, but you're still meek, reactive, prey.
You whirl around to find her, and your gaze meets hers, a pair of shining eyes peering out at you from just beyond the basement stairs.
So she's cut off our escape. Shit. What do we do?
그냥 죽어야지 뭐. 나는 당신이 세계에 위협이 된다고 해서 당신을 죽이려 보내줬어. 점점 그게 진실이라고 느껴지는군.
Oh, for the love of... You've given up the game. Great. All that will do is hasten her victory.
So many useless thoughts run through your head.
미안해요.
Thinking. You'll never hurt me if you keep thinking.
그래요? 당신은 회피하고 있어?
And you bear your weakness to the world.
She's coiling for another strike. Be somewhere else. We're on the back foot. The back foot keeps us nimble, keeps us alive. It doesn't matter if it keeps us alive if it eventually kills us. We need to take back the momentum. We need to do something.
도착할까? 살아나와!
You spin into a new patch of jungle, barely moving out of the way before the princess surges past you with a speed that makes her practically unseen.
다시 해!
Yes, now's our chance. Quick. Right, I agree. We can't do anything without a weapon. We can regroup once we're armed and try to figure out a better plan. Don't plan ahead. Act on the now. All that matters is that we stay alive.
맞아!
As you turn to sprint for the stairs, you feel the air shift. You instinctively glance behind you just in time to see the princess lunge from the shadows, more unhinged and dripping, eyes fierce and full of hunger. She is too quick to outrun, too nimble to outmaneuver, too determined to overpower. This is her domain. You are devoured.
죽었습니다.
I guess that's it then, isn't it? Unfortunately for you, no. This isn't it.
뭐야?
You are in a dark and caustic place. A thick, fibrous lining constricts around you, its slick surface impossible to grip. Your hands scrabbling uselessly at your surroundings as they compress in on you. Your lungs can barely expand in such a tiny space. Not that the humid, finite air grants you more than a few shallow breaths at a time. The liquid pooling beneath you starts to seep into your skin. You itch, then sting, then burn as the acid begins its slow work.
아니 어째서 산채를 잡아 먹힌 거냐며.
When I killed you, I tried to leave this place, but it wouldn't let me. You belong down there, it screamed at me. The world is better off without you in it.
The flesh around you rumbles as the princess begins to move, her thundering footfalls twisting you helplessly about.
아이고.
Your skin protests as the corrosive liquid sloshes around you, but there will be no respite for you in sight. The burning grows stronger, and you can feel layers of you being peeled away.
But you don't belong down here. You came from somewhere else.
나?
You came from out there. So I consumed your dead heart, and I carried it in my throat, and I draped what was left of you on my back, and I threw myself against that door.
Me?
She stops, her muscles tensing around you, and through the muffling layers of her flesh, you hear the whine of straining metal. And with a pop, she lurches forward, your body lurching right along with her. Her chains. She's loose.
But even then, it denied me freedom. You cannot fool me by draping yourself in decay. I know your true nature, and it is suffering.
Gravity pulls at you as you're hefted upwards, the distant creaking of ancient wooden steps barely audible over the thudding of the princess's heart.
And then it was gone, and I was here. A new enclosure, a nicer cage, but still a prison. I learned from my wounds. You're alive now. We can leave together.
아 일부러 나를 산채로 먹은 거야?
Does that work? Could she free herself if we're alive in here? Do you really need me to give you a definitive answer for you to understand that the situation is grim? Stop her. Do something.
어떻게 해?
We don't have steel, but we have tooth and claw. Tear through her before we are her.
떠나도 좋아. 제발 나를 보내줘. 핥히고 물어 뜯을까? 아니야. 나가야 되니까 나가야지 이게 이 손이 찾으니까 떠나도 좋아. 나를 보내줘.
Oh, can I?
The click of what you presume to be a door ripples through the layers of suffocating flesh.
That wasn't so hard.
빨리 나가.
You feel her take another massive step, and then another, and then
해설자가 죽었다.
it's gone quiet, hasn't it?
축한 주변의 형태가 소용돌이 치는 것이 느껴지고 그 축축한 통로를 지나 아무것도 아닌 곳으로 내던져집니다. 왔어.
I guess I don't
뭐야?
need you to be a part of me. How lucky for you.
뭐야? 왜 우리가 같이 있죠?
This place is cold.
잡혔다. 됐어. 잡히면 돼. 하지만 뭐라 말하기도 전에 공주가 사라졌습니다. 기억이 돌아온다.
She's gone.
자자자자. 괜찮아.
But it feels so bad. Like looking into it
아니야,
right
아니야,
now is going to be
괜찮아.
the thing reeks of death.
내겐 끝이지만 나한텐 아니야.
What is that supposed to mean? Whatever awful thing I felt before, it feels so much
아니야.
worse now.
아니야.
Death. Real death.
아니야. 거울에 가자. 우리 괜찮아. 우리 괜찮아. 간사님 모습을 볼까? 앞으로 손을 뻗자. 침묵이 내려앉는다. 그들은 또다시 사라졌다. 여기서 이제 그들은 이제 내 목소리들이구나. 거울은 언제나 저들을 떠나가게 한다. 그래서 얘들은 거울을 보는 걸 무서워하는구나. 자기들이 죽으니까. 오케이. 내가 본체야, 내가. 부패. 나 시들었대. 당신은 시들었다. 저럼. 오케이. 돌아왔다. 오두막. 아가씨. 공주스.
I am a growing chorus of
힘들어.
contradiction. A mass of tides ebbing and flowing all at once in more directions than my attention can bear to hold. To look at any one is to shift them all into something new, and to look away is to reshape them yet again. All of me is changing, and yet the rest of me is still the same.
몇 번을 돌아가도 달라지지 않아. 늘 그랬어. 우리 중 어느 한쪽은 꼭 상대에게 상처를 주더라. 그게 당신을 변화하게 만들진 않아? 당신을 더 나쁘게 만들진 않는 거냐고.
It changes me, but it doesn't make me worse, nor does it make me care for you any less. Does it make you worse? Do you resent me?
조금. 나 언제 여기서 해방돼? 침묵을 한번 지켜볼까?
You are what brings me meaning. Know that the pain of your journey will subside in due time.
얘 이거 그 괴물의 모습으로 되어 있네. 목 당길다.
But you still have a ways to go before we are done.
우리가 떠난 세상은 어떻게 되는지 알아?
My perspectives are shadowed. You have seen what I have seen, just as I have seen what you have seen. The angles of my vantage do not offer me hidden truths, and my attention is turned inward, except when you are here with me. Perhaps this will change when our work is done.
얼마나 더 전해줘야 돼?
We will know when we near our destination.
답이 없네. 신경 쓰니?
I care about your gifts, but I have no preferences to burden you with. Even if I did, I would never dare to tarnish our relationship by assuming myself above you.
않으니까 이게 또 새로 태어난 거니까 한번 물어볼게요.
And yet my waters flow and my streets bustle. There are no words that can describe me into non-existence. There is no logic that can bind my multitudes.
료이키 텐카이.
I am everything that you have known me to be, but I am also none of it.
자, 그냥 가자.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
교활한 마음. 그녀에게 야수를 선사하세요.
You're on a path.
어떻게 해야 하는지 알려줘서 고마워.
Don't mention it. It's all part of.
야, 지하실. 야, 이제 칼 하도 안 챙겨가가지고 칼 하도 안 챙겨가가지고 지금 봉이 됐어. 칼 챙긴다.
You take the blade from.
지하실로 들어간다. 안 죽이면 돼. 이봐, 내가 널 죽이러 여기 온 거 같니?
Oh, are you now? Why don't you come down and let me take a look at you?
Great job. You gave away the element of surprise. Good luck, hero.
비꼬는 것도 이제 재밌네. 해탈했습니다.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the basement.
했잖아. 여기 저를 죽이러 왔다고 하셨을 때 농담은 아니셨겠지요? 그래. 모르겠어. 또 죽여야 돼? 말도 안 돼. 왜 그렇게 생각하는 거야?
That giant knife you're holding kind of gives it away, doesn't it?
The blade. Of course she doesn't want to talk. Who'd want to have a conversation at knife point? We should drop it. Don't you dare. It's fine. We can decide what we want to do after we talk to her. Maybe she really is a monster, but killing someone in cold blood isn't very becoming of us.
내려놔.
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands and drops to the floor with an unceremonious clang.
칼을 들고 오게 했지만 나는 칼을 떨어뜨릴 수 있는 선택지는 처음 선택하는 걸랑.
Thank you. Maybe now we can just talk.
그래요, 아가씨?
Against your better judgment, you step forward to speak with the princess face to face, unarmed. We'll be fine. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the floor. You're going to need it.
So here we are. What an awkward start to a relationship.
야, 너 그렇게 싸가지 없게 하니? 관계라고? 지금 나한테 대시하는 거야? 대화는 이 정도면 충분해. 어떻게 하면 여기서 널 꺼내줄 수 있는데?
You can't. Don't bother.
I'm guessing you don't have the key then. I'm sure there's a key somewhere around here, and if there isn't, well, we can always put that knife to good use.
Her sharp eyes settle on the edge of the blade. She isn't suggesting what I think she's suggesting,
야,
right?
얘는 이미 더한 애야.
She is. I'm sure of it.
네가 세상을 끝장낼 거라고 생각하는 사람들이 있어. 넌 어떻게 생각해?
Don't just tell her that.
Is that why they threw me down here? But I don't want to hurt anyone. I like the world, I think. I don't remember much about it, to be honest. I've been down here a long time.
이거 약간 순한 버전 때도 들었던 똑같은 대사인 것 같은데? 흑화 버전은 처음 듣는 거구나.
Just how long has she been down here?
If I'm supposed to be capable of ending the world, then how did I wind up here, chained to a wall? Have they told you why I'm allegedly so dangerous?
아닌가? 솔직히 말하면 난 그자들 말보다는 네 말을 더 믿고 싶어.
Sooner or later, you'll understand that I have your best interests at heart. Hopefully sooner.
아, 근데 내가 전에 뭘 선택했는지 기억이 안 나가지고.
How sweet. Now be a pal and help me get out of here, would you? We could figure out how to deal with them after I'm free.
난 널 믿지 않아. 그래, 일단 해보자.
You walk up to the chains binding the princess to the wall and give them a tug. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to eat.
If you don't have the key, maybe you should go looking for it. I'm sure it's somewhere upstairs.
Doubtful. Whoever locked the princess.
오케이. 뭐 다른 생각 있어? 널 잘라서 여기서 꺼내주는 거 말고?
That would be
보는 거
fine. I can lose an arm.
She speaks with almost if we were stuck down here for long enough, I'm sure we'd be nonchalant about cutting. You attempt to make your way out of. Is someone else here?
이거 다 했고.
You make your way back to the bottom of the stair. Easier for who? Easier for everyone.
I heard the door slam. The knife.
You won't like.
구해.
Against your better judge, you cut into her. The blade is sharp, and you make quick. She didn't so much as utter. Free from her binding. How is she so composed after losing an arm?
원래 좀
It's
행복했죠?
like she isn't even bothered by it.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
너무 무서워요. 가자.
No, we won't have any of that. The stakes are too high. As the princess approaches. Wait, this isn't fair. Watch me.
공주를 처치한다. 경고하다.
Stop that.
I thought this was a little too easy.
Your body lunges forward to sink the blade into her back, but the princess swiftly moves out of the way before you can connect. Stop it. Stop. Resist.
저항해.
The blade. Move.
You're doing your best to help me, aren't you? I can see the conflict in your eyes.
알고 있구나 누나.
I'll make this quick.
She steps forward
좋아,
and
좋아.
pries the blade from your
고통스럽지
rigid
않게.
hands.
Maybe I'll see you in another life.
And then she slits your throat with an almost clinical ease.
굿.
Her face remains unchanged as she watches you collapse to the ground, blood flowing from your butchered neck.
굿.
This is the end. I'm afraid it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. I hope it was worth it.
좋아요. 죄수.
You're on a
몇 개나 있는
path
거지?
in the woods, and at the end of that path
아휴.
is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin, you're here to slay.
오케이. 오두막으로 향한다.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you. Yes, don't believe a word she says. Just go in, take the knife, and do what you're supposed to. Did you just say wink out loud?
윙크.
No, I didn't. Wink.
윙크.
Just ignore this clown and focus on the princess.
오두막으로 들어간다.
The interior of the cabin is less a cozy woodland retreat and more like a dungeon. A few pathetic wisps of starlight attempt to illuminate the cold, uninviting stone walls, and thick, wrought iron bars barricade the windows, reminding anyone who enters that this is a prison. The only furniture of note is an iron table, bolted to the floor, a pristine blade perched on its edge. The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right.
거울로 다가갔다.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This isn't a wall. It's a mirror. Or at least it'll be a mirror once we wipe off that layer of grime. You
봤나?
reach forward and rub your hand again, but there wasn't, and now it's gone.
If he doesn't want us to know about it, it must be important. We should keep our eyes peeled. Maybe it'll be back.
여기 또 칼을 챙겨야 해? 난 칼을 챙기고 싶지 않은데. 그냥 가자.
I'm afraid I'm going to insist we take the road. We're in a dangerous situation and I'm not letting us go down there without a weapon.
알겠어.
Are you sure?
강제네.
What if she, I don't know, turns it against us?
Which yes, I'm sure.
Turns it against you? She's a prisoner here. She'll only be able to turn it against you if you give it to her. Which you won't be doing because she's an existential threat to the entire world.
Okay, I'm trusting you.
이봐, 나도 끼워주면 안 되나? 무슨 얘기 중인가?
Normally, yeah, but not about this. Call it a reflex. We take the knife as we go.
Wonderful. You do exactly that, sweeping the blade from the table before proceeding to the basement.
Don't worry about it. We have a knife, so what? It's not like we have to use it.
No, you don't have to do anything, but you do well to use it regardless. Moving on. The door to the basement creaks open, revealing an old stone staircase. A few sputtering torches attempt to vaguely illuminate your path, dancing across glimmering patches of slimy moss on the stone steps. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favor. Her voice, harsh but controlled, carries up the stairs.
Is that a visitor I hear? Please, come downstairs. It's been a while since I've had company.
진짜 잘 뽑은 것 같아. 진짜 연기 너무 소름 끼치게 잘하시네.
I wonder what visitors she could be referring to. Were we not the first? You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. She looks up at you, the heavy collar around her neck clanking loudly as she moves. The chains binding both her wrists to the far wall, joining the metallic chorus as she adjusts her hands in her lap.
너무 많은 거 아니야?
Should we be worried about the one around her neck? Why would you be worried about her restraints? If anything, they'll make your job easier. Have you noticed the empty chain on the wall? Odd that in a place where everything seems to serve a distinct purpose, there would be something so obviously useless.
맞아. 저거는 왜 비어 있지?
What an interesting development. Why don't you have a seat? The two of us should chat before you bury that thing in my heart.
그래. 공주 옆에 앉는다. 두고 갈까? 아니야. 괜히 쫓아올 것 같아. 옆에 앉자.
You step towards the
Hi.
princess, but she stops you before you get too close, holding up one shackled hand.
There's fine. I'd prefer we keep some distance until we've sorted this out.
That's reasonable. We do have a weapon. Might as well put her at ease.
앉으라고 한 곳에 앉는다.
You do as she asks and sit on the floor, still a good distance away from her.
Thank you. Now, what are your intentions for me?
몰라. 저 벽에 있는 또 다른 족쇄는 누구 거지?
I don't know, but you could always try it on. Maybe it'll fit.
I hope I don't actually have to say this, but please don't lock yourself in chains. We need you ambulatory if you're going to save the world.
궁금한데 어떡해. 나 전에도 여기 왔는데 기억하는 건 나뿐인가?
Oh, are we acknowledging that? I thought we weren't going to give away the game. But yeah, I remember.
So you've already been here.
해설자를 속이는 것도 목적인가?
As much as I would like to remain in denial, it's no use. This has complicated things. It's complicated things how, exactly? Ideally, this was supposed to be one and done. You go to the cabin, you heroically slay the princess, and in the process you save the entire world from being damned to oblivion. The situation right now, where you're getting a second shot at things, is a contingency.
A contingency for what?
For you failing, obviously. And you being here means that things are going to be a lot harder than they were. I really shouldn't say anything else, I'm just going to make it worse. Just good luck.
If you knew this could happen, why didn't you tell us? All of this is incredibly valuable information. It would have changed our actions considerably.
I needed you to be in the dark for as long as I could keep you there. It's important. Necessary, even. And maybe I wanted to be the first version of me that you met. I didn't want to be confronted by the alternative. That's pathetic.
잘한다, 의심.
I never said I wasn't.
잘한다.
I get it. It would be pretty upsetting, wouldn't it? To know that you might not be the first version of yourself. At least we can remember what happened before. Seems like we should count ourselves lucky for that. Exactly, he gets it. You're lucky, so don't waste that luck by messing it up again. All right?
Moving on. Why is it important for us to be ignorant? How is it ever helpful to be in the dark?
The more I say, the more your mind will swim into dangerous waters. Even saying that is too much. Your success hinges on you having imperfect information. For the sake of the entire world, you need to accept that.
근데 나 지금 정보를 정말 싹싹 긁어모으고 있다는 거는 넌 모르지.
I won't.
Just give it a rest, this isn't helping.
Focus. This is a serious situation. You shouldn't be daydreaming.
아니야, 그건 아니고 잠깐 화장실 좀 다녀오겠습니다. 자, 여기 두고 갈까 해. 그럼 이만. 내가 뭘 했으면 좋겠어?
Let me borrow that knife. Don't worry, you'll get it back.
네?
That's ominous.
But she seems confident. Whatever it is she has planned, I think she knows what she's doing.
Oh please, she's just putting on an act to disarm you. That much should be obvious. In case you need to hear a voice of reason, it would obviously be unwise to give away your only weapon.
Though if she isn't bluffing, Whatever she has planned might be for her benefit alone. There's no guarantee that what's good for her is good for us.
So, what should we do?
I don't know. I'm just spelling out our options, listing the pros and cons.
얘가 똑순이네, 똑순이야.
Then let me help you. I'll start with the cons. If you're handing her your weapon, the cons are that she might use it to escape and end the entire world. And she might use it to kill you.
근데 이렇게 다 있는데 어떻게 탈출을 해?
That doesn't sound great. What about the pros? There are none.
The pros are that we can't trust him, possibly even more than we can't trust her.
맞아.
Whatever she has planned could do something to mess with what he has planned. Or maybe they're both screwing us over in their own ways.
당신이 날 못 믿는 것만큼 나도 당신을 믿기 어려운 거 알지?
I do. So I guess this all comes down to which of us caves first. And it's not going to be me. I'm extremely patient.
근데 아니군.
It's probably better if we take action anyway. No use trying to wait her out. That's playing to her strengths.
그래? 직접 공주를 잘라서 꺼낸다고? 무슨 소리니? 와, 믿을게.
Slide it over.
No, absolutely not. I am not letting you hand your only weapon over to the world-ending princess. Until you come up with any other idea, like, say, I don't know, doing your job and slaying her, you remain rigidly in place.
You tried this last time. Do you want to know how it went for you?
Oh, I remember. She killed us, which, by your estimation, ended the world, right? Oh, already tried to take over her body.
내 몸을 지배한다 이런 얘기했는데? Or I can take over your body 이렇게 얘기한 것 같은데?
Exactly. If I were you, I wouldn't be too keen on repeating your mistake. Hell, we could even force your hand and do it ourselves. I'm not afraid of dying again. Are you?
A little. I think you got your point across. Fine. You slide the blade across the floor. The princess maintains unsettling eye contact as she reaches down to pick it up.
Thanks.
She pulls up her hair, smiling slightly as she raises the blade to her throat.
뭐해?
What is she doing? She doesn't say another word as she cuts into her own neck. No.
보지 마!
Close your eyes. That doesn't stop you from hearing every grisly detail. The splitting of skin, the wet mulching of severed veins, the grinding of metal against bone.
조용!
I'll be damned. She's actually doing your job for you. Why would she do that?
공주는 그냥 죽고 싶은 거 아닐까?
Huh. So that's her play.
Killing herself?
We don't know that she's dead yet. We're not even watching it happen.
나
She
싫어.
could
안
just
보고
be faking
싶어. 안
those
보고
sounds.
싶어.
And then, finally, you hear a snap and an uneasy silence. There is a slow and fleshy tear. Hard to fake that.
이어폰 잠깐 뺐어. 진짜.
This is worse than watching.
And yet our eyes are still closed.
Finally, there's the soft thud of something roughly head-sized bouncing against the floor, and the clattering of chains as they drop along with it. I think you can open your eyes now. Oh no!
Oh my god!
no.
Oh
What
my
did
god!
we do? Can we put it back? Please tell me we can put it back. The princess's eyes stare up at you, dead. Congratulations! You saved the world.
야, 그래도 야.
So I guess that's it.
What a way to go. But she is gone, isn't she?
I hate this. Can we just get out of here now, please? Of course, the princess is slain and the world is saved. Whenever you're ready, you can proceed to your reward.
Now hold on, she's dead. So what's the rush? What's your angle?
I don't have an angle. I'm just looking forward to putting all this behind us. I'm sure you can understand that.
Look, I'm just not ready to put my guard down. It's best to keep sharp. She wouldn't have done all that without some kind of reason. She's left us with this dangling thread, and I need to know why.
맞는 말이긴 해. 왜 이런 짓을 했을까?
You're just wasting your energy. The danger has passed, and now we can all relax and enjoy your reward.
공주를 데리고 나갈 수가 있어? Oh my goodness.
Ugh, fine. You pick up the princess's severed head, its neck stump still oozing bodily fluids.
Shush.
Then make your way back upstairs to the first floor of the cabin.
Did you see that?
쳐다보지 마.
I could have sworn she moved.
She didn't. She's dead. But what if she's not? Are you listening to yourself? Do I need to explain to you why decapitation is lethal? The door to your bountiful reward is right in front of you. All you have to do is open it.
보상을 받는다.
You open the cabin door, ready to return to a world saved from certain doom. Only, a world saved from certain doom isn't what you find. Instead, what you find is... Wait, no, that's not right.
Well played.
This is the end of the world, isn't it? I always thought I'd at least have time to explain.
미안해요. 미안해요. 너무 놀래가지고.
Over? Is he gone?
왔다.
But we're
엔딩이다.
still here. Maybe it wasn't the end of the world after all. Maybe it was just the end of his.
Thanks for carrying me up here. I had to take it on faith that you would know what to do. I'm glad I was right to trust you.
미안해. 도대체 이게 무슨 일인지 좀 설명을 해줄 수 있니?
So, this is the outside. Maybe it's just my lack of body, but it's colder than I expected.
늘 춥구나 너는. 미안해. 머리만. 그럼 다음에는 머리만 나오는 게 보이나? 앞으로 영영 대답할 수 없을 것이다. 떠날 시간이다. 기억이 돌아와.
She's gone. Where?
안 달래. 그냥 가. 괜찮아. 당신은 거울에 다가간다.
This doesn't feel right. It feels different. Final.
You're right. Part of me wants the truth, but something stronger is holding me back. Fear.
목소리들이 작게 가까이 다가갈수록 목소리들이 작게 아득하게 느껴진다. 거울을 보자! 자, 거울 안을 확인할 차례. 유해, 당신은 해체됐다. 뭐죠 그게? 해체됐다니 이게 무슨 의미죠? 음악으로 렛츠고! 아, 편안. 공주야. 오 마이 갓.
There's a world beyond the endless walls of the long quiet. We're supposed to be there. Do you know what we'll find out there?
아니 몰라. 지금 돌려서 말하는 건가? 너는 아는 거지? 나한테 무슨 할 말이 있는 거냐고.
Rhetorical. I am not rhetorical. I have only known these spaces, and I have known flickers of the lives you've brought me, short and violent and full of passion. But all of those flickers end where the long quiet begins. I'm asking you because I cannot know your mind. Do you know what we'll find out there?
나무가 있고 별이 있지. 그리고 사람들도 있을 거고. 사람이 있긴 할 거야.
There is a warmth and sadness in me at the thought of people. Fresh tears on a winter's day. They are not like us. They do not last.
저밖에 실제하는 게 있다고 생각해? 우리는 실제하는 걸까?
We are real. Nothing is an idea that dwells in the absence of something. But nothing cannot exist on its own. And because of that, nothing can't exist.
오, 이거 진짜 궁금한 건데? 당신이 날 돌려보냈을 때 난 혼자가 아니었어. 내가 말을 거는 목소리들이 있었지. 나와 같은 목소리도 있었지만 이게 용사의 목소리? 다른 목소리도 있었어. 해설자라고 부르는 작자인데 당신을 처치하라고 하더군. 당신에게도 해설자가 있어? 그릇들에게도 해설자가 있었어?
No, their thoughts are quiet. Do you think your narrator lives in the spaces beyond?
몰라. 아, 그렇던데 혼자만 알고 있을 생각이다. 그렇던데 그 작자를 찾으면 마침내 우리 둘 다 해답을 알 수 있겠지?
Do not look to one who fears me for your truth. The only answers worth knowing are those we can find within ourselves.
당신이 각성하면 어떻게 되는지 알아?
If I did, I would already be awake.
어떻게 되는지 알아? 그릇을 얼마나 더 전해줘야 해?
1. Whatever you bring me next will be enough, and then gravity will pull the others back to me. I will be singular, a final multitude.
와! 이번이 마지막이면 특별히 내가 가져다 줬으면 하는 게 있어?
These gifts are a conversation, and each one shows me the contours of your heart. The only thing I want to see is what you choose for me when the thread is fully drawn.
이 그릇을 어떻게 생각해? 이것도.
This one is cold and cynical. She has protected herself when others could not. She will make for a clever heart. Do not mourn her. She doesn't need to be protected any longer.
안 돌아갈 거야 하면 어떻게 돼?
You've already tried waiting, but I understand if you need more time. I'll wait with you. I will see you when you return.
죽겠다!
What textures will you weave for yourself to occupy forever? Will you place the images of you and I into a box for safekeeping? If you close that box, will you become another you in another world? An imaginary pattern repeating itself until it can no longer bear the weight of its hand-drawn cage? You'll always come back to the box, because you'll always want to know what it means to be you. I will be here waiting by your side until you're ready to return to mine.
어? 어? 뭐야? 강종됐어? 아, 제발. 어? 지금 게임 강종됐는데요? 이게 맞아요? 설마 막 저장 막 안 되고 막 아니 아닌가? 이거 버그인가?
You have returned to me. Though you were gone mere moments, I never left your side.
아니 미친. 아 미친. 너무 무서워요 진짜로. 아 그러셨구나. 미안합니다.
The next time I see you, each of us will finally know what we are. I will be here, waiting for you.
또 죽었어. 나는 또.
You're on a path in the wood.
나쁜 짓 같아.
Does it?
나쁜 짓 같아. 가자.
You make your way up the
최대한 평화주의적으로 갑시다. 평화주의적으로. 마지막이니까 내가 할 수 있는 최대한의 평화를 지키면서 가봅시다.
The interior of
또 칼을 챙겨야 돼. 아, 나 그냥 진짜 질러 들어가고 싶다.
you take the blade from the table.
아,
The door to the
한단 말이야. 그냥 당신을
Oh,
확인하러 왔어.
It's been so long since anyone's come down here. I was starting to think they'd forgotten about me.
You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall of the
아니야,
basement.
죽이러 온 거 아니야.
Then drop the knife.
또 이러면 또 그건가?
We should. It'll go a long way to building trust with her. Don't you dare.
또 이건데? 똑같은 거 되나?
The blade tumbles out of your trembling hands. I don't know what you're hoping to accomplish here, but I can assure you there's no reasoning with her. Just make sure you don't forget about the blade on the
대화는 이
floor.
정도면 충분해.
You're going to need it.
내가 왜 너를 죽이러 여기 온 줄 알아?
Do you?
내가 무슨 말을 들었는지 나도 알아. 내가 그걸 믿는 건 또 완전히 다른 문제고.
So, you're not going to share? How pointless. If you want to talk, I'll talk. But this isn't talking.
당신의 이름이 뭐예요?
She hesitates before answering.
You can address me as Your Royal Highness.
이거
Or Her Majesty. Any honorific should do, really.
Note the lack of detail. You can't trust her.
됐다. 이 정도 대화면 충분해.
Oh, have you decided what to do with me?
You know why you're.
여기서 널 꺼내줄게.
Oh, you have to be kidding me. You walk up to the chains binding the print. They're large and heavy, far too solid for you to
글쎄
even.
없고.
Maybe it's somewhere upstairs. Doubtful. Whoever locked the.
위층을 살펴볼게.
I'll be here.
You attempt to make your way.
또 되네? 아 이렇게 하면 안
Make your way
되나?
back to the bottom of the.
팔! 구해! 이거 다 했잖아. 터치해볼까?
Okay. There's no going back. Though the blade left a deep gash in her shoulder.
Are you serious?
너무 무서워서 근데 진짜로.
I don't know what came over you, but if we're doing this, I guess I'll have to kill you. Do you think I need both of my arms to do that? I can beat you to death with one. But I don't have to tell you that. I'll go ahead and show you.
포기할까? 포기해.
As the blade falls from your trembling hands, the princess rears back, readying a bone-shattering haymaker. You fall to your knees, barely able to process the ringing in your ears before she hits you again. Every blow is as punishing as the first.
와우.
You feel bones shatter with every impact, unknown ruptures blossoming with blood somewhere inside of you. If we're lucky, the wound you manage to inflict will be enough to at least delay her escape from this place. If we're very lucky, we'll kill her before she gets out.
이 대사도 나왔는데?
Oh, too weak to even try fighting back. How disappointing.
She places a confident heel on your chest and pushes you down to the ground. Her knee falls to your throat, your windpipe crushed beneath a weight you didn't think her slight form could possibly possess. It can't just end like this. I'm sorry, but it's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
끝! 제2장 탑!
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
이게 마지막이야. 이게 마지막이야.
A warning, she will lie. We might as well just
설마.
pledge ourselves to her and stop pretending we're capable of doing anything in this situation. She probably doesn't even need to try to overpower us. Can we tone down the pessimism just a smidge? I'm not being a pessimist. I'm just being realistic. You're being annoying. Just ignore their bickering, and whatever you do, don't pledge yourself to her. I cannot stress enough how absolutely catastrophic that would be for everyone, yourself included. I agree. If she's wrongfully imprisoned, then we should rescue her, but if he's telling the truth, we shouldn't just hand her the world on a silver platter. Rescue her? Given the stakes of the situation, there isn't really a difference between rescuing her and pledging yourself to her. Either would be terrible.
근데 난 얘를 구해줘야 돼.
So please try to ignore both of those knuckleheads and focus on saving the world. Let's not make this harder than it has to be.
들어가.
If that's what you want, I guess I don't have a say here. The interior of the cabin is larger and more grandiose than its humble exterior would suggest. The only furniture of note is a massive marble altar with a pristine blade perched on its edge.
여기 있네.
The blade is your implement. You'll need it if you want to do this right. Why do we feel so small? We don't feel small. We are small.
절망이라 가지고. 거울.
You walk up to the wall next to the basement door. It's a wall. There isn't much to see here. What are you talking about? This is...
깨끗하게 닦아서.
You reach forward and rub your hand. We should count ourselves lucky. Some things are better left unseen.
무시하는 그런 것도 있나? 그냥 가자.
No blade this time. Yeah. Maybe she'll be more receptive if we're unarmed. Blade, no blade. It doesn't matter.
우와.
The door to the basement
Wow.
creaks open, revealing a spiral staircase. Its steps almost as deep as you are tall. The smell of incense drifts up from below. For a moment, you almost feel at ease.
이렇게 하면 진짜 겁나 어지러운데.
Huh. This is actually kind of nice.
That's kind of nice.
It's still a stone basement. If the princess lives here, slaying her is probably doing her a favor. Her booming voice rolls up the stairs.
Is that a guest I hear? Don't linger on the stairs. Come down and witness me.
오.
You weren't kidding when you said it was booming. She wasn't like this last time. You shouldn't have come down here unarmed.
어쩔 수 없어. 이미 내려왔는데.
We need to get down there. She wants us to see her. We need to see her. Should we be worried about your sudden change in attitude? Just a few minutes ago you were going on about how pointless everything was. Now you want to go down there. It doesn't matter what that little voice says. He's not the one making the decisions. Though if his ramblings get you to the princess, they get you to the princess.
계속해서 계단을 내려간다. 이미 선택해버려가지고.
Making your way down the spiral staircase is a time-consuming and exhausting effort, every step requiring you to clamber over one edge before dropping to the next. But soon the end comes into view, and you tumble to the bottom, entering the vast, temple-like room beyond. The princess towers over you, almost glowing in the weak starlight, her figure framed by a stained glass window. Her long hair billows around her, and a chain binds her wrist to the far wall. The chain is nothing to her. It might as well be a toy for all the good it would do. I told you it was pointless to resist her.
야, 이건 솔직히 가줄만했다. 무섭다.
The little bird has returned to me. I wonder what he wants. I see your hands are empty. You've already given up, haven't you? You aren't even going to try and kill me. How sweet. And more than a little disappointing.
왜요?
She's disappointed in us?
Kneel.
On her command, you fall to the floor, knees painfully connecting with hard stone.
That's my good little bird. Now, why don't we talk? The last time we met, you tried to kill me.
미안해요.
And yet here you are again, this time groveling at my feet. What a wretched sight.
미안합니다.
What draws you back here beyond the empty halls of death?
마지막 한 조각을 구하러 왔어요.
Speak.
The last time we met, nobody should have met her before this. You should be the first. You're the only one I trust to deal with her.
나밖에 없다고? 해솔자한테? 해솔자가 내 안에 있는 다른 인격이 아니란 말이야?
Then you shouldn't have trusted us. There was nothing we could do to stop her then, and there's nothing we can do to stop her now.
He's being melodramatic, but yeah, we've been here before and she absolutely destroyed us. What are we even supposed to do to stop her? That's worrying. Whatever you do, don't tell her why you're here. It's best not to give her any ideas.
침묵을 지킨다.
Do you think holding shut your beak is enough to stop me from prying it open? Do you think your skull can save your thoughts from being seen?
Can she do that?
공주가 그런 것도 할 수 있나?
There's nothing she can't do.
Confused, meek, a chorus of submissive indecision. Is that why you came to me unarmed?
예.
It doesn't matter. All of it is easily brushed aside. And there it is. I am destined to end the world.
아시는구나. 들켰구나.
Something about that thought wraps itself around my heart. It feels like a fundamental truth to my being that I'd somehow forgotten. The collapse of the old is a necessary prelude to the birth of the new. And the world as it is now is overdue for alterations. It's time for me to seize my destiny, and you, little bird, will help me seize it.
아기새예요.
She's inevitable. There's nothing else for us to do but help her. Maybe she'll be nice to us.
당신의 종이 될게. 세상을 멸망시킬 존재라고 해서 꼭 그렇게 해야 한다는 건 아니야. 당신은 뭐든지 될 수 있어요.
This isn't about desire. This is about what I am. And I have little interest in discussing destiny with one that cannot see the divine truth that shines in my heart.
내가 죽고 나서 무슨 일이 있었죠?
Know the limits of your privilege, little bird.
미안해요.
There's an empty place at my side for you to fill, if you'll have it. But it is not a place for an equal. It is a place for something worthy to be kept. A priest, perhaps, or a pet.
내가 뭘 했으면 좋겠어?
All you have to do is break these chains and set me free.
그렇게 강하면 직접 사슬을 끊으면 되지 않아?
Don't be rude. Of course she can.
아, 나의 충성심을 테스트하는 겁니까?
It's not rude to question someone who's apparently trying to end the world.
That's exactly why it's rude. We should know our place.
I can, easily. But that isn't what I want to do. The story of a terrible and bountiful God unbounded of her own will is no story at all. It's not worthy of everything I am or everything I'm bound to become. It isn't even worthy of what I was. The destruction in Genesis that's to follow in my wake is deserving of a song that can echo for eternity. The song of you being so struck by my glory, so overwhelmed by what I am, that you feel you must deliver me into the world. And from your act of utter devotion and submission springs a new dawn, a better dawn.
이게 맞나요?
Submit now, submit later. It makes no difference. Because in the end, no matter how vainly you struggle against me, my will triumphs over yours.
네, 알겠어요. 미안해요. 당신의 종이 되겠습니다.
Your will was so easily broken.
선택지가 없었어.
Am I that magnificent? All you need to do now is break my chains.
If this is what you want, then I guess there's not much else for me to say. No, you can't just give in to her. Not when the stakes are so high. Not when you're so close. I won't let you do this.
There's still something in the way.
맞아요.
A greasy film inside of you
맞아요,
where
맞아요.
it doesn't belong. Trying to conceal you from me.
네네네네네. 걔 좀 없애주시면 안 돼요?
Is that a person?
걔가 만화의 근원 같은데.
No, it used to be a person. It's something different now. An echo.
Is she talking about you?
네 얘기야. 쳐웃지 마.
That's impossible. She's not supposed to be able to interact with me.
You're a small one, aren't you? A shriveling little worm stretched beyond its limits, trying to control things that it can't understand.
무서운데?
No. What are you talking about? I'm just...
좋아
I
좋아.
don't care what you are. You're mine.
난 내 거야. 깜짝이야. 너무 날것의 비명이 들려와가지고 아까 너무 깜짝 놀래가지고.
Rise, my little bird.
아싸! 해설자 컷!
Without hesitation, you're brought to your feet.
우와!
Break my chains.
헐 대박.
And how are we supposed to do that? We don't even have a weapon. All you need to do is believe it's been done.
와 해설자 약간 정신지배 시켰는데? 다 끝났어. 미안해.
There's nothing to be sorry about. This is how it was always going to be. And it is good. Alright, I'm done with this. I'm just gonna go sit in the corner. Let me know if we get our agency back.
화났구나 용사야. 공주의 내가 못 믿겠다면 어떻게 할 거야?
You poor, wretched little thing. You already do believe. You've always believed. All you have to do is open the last door to your heart.
여자 목소리가 왜 조금 더 늦지? 더 빨라야 그거에 맞지 않나? 아무튼
It's easy.
And once you let her in, you'll be safe and free forever.
Please don't do this.
하지 마라 용사가. 어떻게 난 이미 복종했는걸? 공주의 사슬을 끊는다.
Her chains shatter, and the cuff falls from her wrist. She is loose, and the end is upon us.
좋아 좋아.
What a good disciple you are. Come, it's time for us to leave.
이제 어떻게 되는 거지?
Nothing. And then, everything.
내 손을 잡아! 좋아 좋아 왔어요. 자, 우린 갑니다. 저쪽 세계로. 그러나 당신은 공주의 손을 잡지 않았다. 앞으로 영영 잡지 않을 것이다. 와요.
She's gone.
가. 뭐라고 해? 우리 모습 보고 싶지도 않대요. 안녕 친구들아. 이게 마지막이다. 이게 마지막이야. 난 아무것도 아니래. 근데 뭐가 있는데요? 하지만 그건 옳지 않다. 당신은 아무것도 아닐 수 없다. 당신은 다시 시선을 집중하자. 그제야 반사된 상 저 너머로 그림자에 가려진 희미한 형체가 눈에 들어온다. 너는 나인가?
I think you know what I am.
해설자다. 깜짝이야. 거울 중앙을 따라 균열이 생겨나더니 유리에 맺힌 상을 둘로 나눈다. 드디어 또 다른 균열이 생기고 다른 균열이 생기고 그러기를 반복한 끝에 거울은 들쭉날쭉하게 깨진 유리 파편에 집합이 되었다. 뭐야? 나 그 언니 만나고 싶은데? 그래, 네가 해설자로군. 언제쯤 얼굴 보고 얘기할 수 있을까 궁금했는데 말이야.
The narrator. Yes. I suppose that's my job, isn't it? You needed help after all. An objective voice to guide your blade. But you were never supposed to see me. I wonder how many worlds you've damned to extinction to fall this far.
소리가 너무 크죠? 난 커! 난 커서 조금 줄일게요. 널 셀 수 없이 많이 만났어. 지금까지 모두 너 하나였던 건가?
I haven't, and that's by both necessity and design.
뭐라고? 모두 너 하나였던 건가? 그렇지 않아.
This construct you're in exists in many places at once. Anytime you failed, anytime you thought yourself dead, it would restart and shunt both your consciousness and hers into another world. But you'll be awake soon, and then it won't be able to work like that anymore.
여기 눈이 있네. 깜빡깜빡거리네. 본래에 대해 알고 있었군. 본래에 대해 알고 있었고 나는 널 셀 수 없이 많이 만났어. 그리고 매번 그 가능성을 한마디로 일축하곤 했지. 왜 날 속였지?
Any other version of me you talked to was just that, a version of me. It wasn't me. As to why they lied, perhaps they thought that admitting to it would have pushed you to certain realizations that would have made finishing your task impossible. Maybe they were just in denial. I'm sure many of them were convinced that they had to be the first version of them you'd encountered. Anything else would have been too existentially unpleasant. For all I know, each of those other versions of me could have had entirely different understandings of how this construct works. Who's to say which of them are right and which of them are wrong, really? Except for me, I can tell you for a fact that I'm right.
체계의 벽 너머에 있는 사람들은 그 사람들은 이 일을 알아? 네가 나한테 무슨 일을 시켰는지 알고 있냐고.
Of course not. The only way this construct could function was if nobody knew what it was doing. But the bones of the universe are old. It's on the cusp of its dying breath, and the people out there are consumed with thoughts of oblivion. When the patterns are wiped from the sand, when the board is reset, who will remember them? All I've done is give them a chance to live outside of the shadow of the end.
I don't understand. 전에는 너한테서 어떻게 하지? 전에는 너한테서 뭘 캐내려고 할 때마다 벽창호가 따로 없었는데 말이야. 왜 갑자기 순순히 실토하는 거지?
Her nature is to become what others perceive her to be. If you actually knew what she was, if you knew her capabilities, a single intrusive thought could have instantly ended the entire world.
공주의 본질은 타인이 인지하는 모습이 되는 것이다. 그러면 내가 공주가 룰루 너무 착한 공주예요 라고 인지를 하면은 공주는 룰루 난 착한 공주예요 이렇게 되는 거고 공주는 세계를 멸망시킬 수 있는 사람이고 하면은 세계를 멸망할 수 있는 그런 능력을 가진다는 거야? 내가 살아있는 생명체와 같은 방식으로 기능하지 않는다고? 더 이상은? 그럼 난 살아있는 존재가 아닌 거야?
You never were. You are the long quiet.
정말.
The god I made to rid the world of death. For a time, this construct could help you approximate being alive, confining your mind to a single reality. But you've experienced far too many lives for it to work much longer.
나는 신이 되고 싶지 않아. 나 자신으로 남고 싶었어. 왜 죽음을 없애려 하는 거야? 무슨 수로 이 세상에서 죽음을 쥐고? 공주도 네가 만든 거니?
She is the shifting mound, the ebb and flow, the capacity to change. She is transformation, or most of it. Her nature is why I had to die, for she becomes that which others perceive her to be. But an echo can't perceive things, not in the way that people can. So I tucked a part of myself into the folds of this construct to guide you. This isn't the end just yet. You can still destroy her and save everyone. You were made to do this single task, and you will still have a chance to fulfill your purpose once I'm gone.
개미나 물에 젖은 빵 한 조각으로 만들 수 없는 이유는 뭐지? 왜 죽음을 없애려는 거야?
If you need to ask that question, there's nothing I can say to move you. You haven't died. You cannot die. So you cannot grasp the abject horror of dying.
왜 처음부터 다 알려주지 않은 거야? 말해줬으면 공주를 없애는데 협조했을 텐데. 근데 이건 됐고, 왜냐면은 그거는 자기들은 이게 방해가 될 거라고 생각을 했기 때문에 어쩌고 저쩌고니까. 난 신이 되고 싶지 않아. 나 자신으로 남고 싶어.
You are you. And if you would let everything work the way it was supposed to, you never would have woken up to the reality of your true nature. There's no accounting for free will.
내가 공주를 없앴을 때 상황이 더 나빠지지 않는다는 보장이 있는.
Of course there won't be worse. I saw a glimpse of a better world and I did what I could to make it real. Anything is better than oblivion. In the end, nobody wants to leave.
남은 의문이 없습니다. 나 지금 의문 다 해결한 거야? 아니면은 그냥 쭉 그냥 이 마지막 조각이 남아서 그냥 자동으로 된 건가? 자동으로 된 걸 수도 있겠다. 나 아직 어떻게 해야 할지 정하진 않았어. 이 모든 일에 대한 공주의 생각도 들어보고 싶거든.
I've said my piece and my time is up.
안녕.
I'm just an echo, and every echo fades away. You know what you have to do.
마지막 유리 파편이 깨지고 당신은 한층 더 선명하게 스스로를 바라볼 수 있게 되었다. 정막이 나래. 해설자의 말은 사실이다. 당신은 광대한 태초의 신, 기나긴 정막이다. 비로소 깨어날 때가 되었다. 이 모든 것이 내가 카오스라는 말이요? 마지막으로 오두막으로 향한다. 엔딩이다, 엔딩. 당신은 모든 것의 중심에 도착했지만 이를 증언해줄 이는 아무도 없다. 당신은 아무것도 찾지 못한다. 오메야! 깜짝이야. 오, 와우, 와우, 와우.
I can finally see you, and you can finally see me.
이게 뭐죠?
It's been so long, and my heart has ached for this moment. I've missed you dearly.
저요? 메아리에 대해 아는 게 있어? 우리가 나눈 대화를 들은 거니?
Every word you spoke found its way to me. I know him, and I know his construct. He was deluded by his fear of death. Pay him no mind.
공인 해제해가지고 지금 약간 그런데? 난 기나긴 정막이야. 근데 그게 무슨 뜻인지는 잘 모르겠어.
Names are their attempts to capture that which cannot be captured. They call me the shifting mound, a pale imitation of what I actually am.
그럼 이제 어떻게 되는 거지?
Ever the passive player, always reacting and never acting. But it's woven into your nature, isn't it?
저요? 이거 지금 그거야? 그 뭐냐? 아, 저격하는 건가?
When the echoes spun us from one into two, he gave you a choice and me a role to play. I am not death, but I contain it in my multitudes.
너와 내가 하나였다는 거야?
So, will you attempt to destroy me and bring about a world devoid of death and the possibility of meaning? Or will you open the final doors to our liberation?
너한테도 이 모든 일에 대한 선택권이 있잖아. 어째서 나한테 그 임무가 주어진 거지?
Of course I have a say in all of this. You and I share reflections of each other's burdens, just as you and I share reflections of each other's gifts. If we didn't, the winding paths that brought us here wouldn't have been full of strife and conflict.
분명히. 근데 일단 이게 좀 궁금해서 네가 처음부터 이렇게 될 예정이었다면 내가 무슨 짓을 하든 아무 의미도 없었던 거 아니야? 어차피 어떤 길을 걸었든 모두 이곳으로 이어졌을 거라면 내가 어떤 길을 걸었는지가 중요하긴 한가?
If you're saying that, it's because you don't yet understand. But we cannot use words alone to grasp at things that words cannot express. And you cannot rationalize with logic that which defies it. Violence and passion are dances that both of us know well. If this is what it takes to enlighten you, then so be it.
잘못 선택했다.
You are nothing. A black hole of self-loathing fed by the matter of your restless thoughts. A dog blind to its leash. But there is no light without the dark. When I proclaimed my godhood and offered you a place at my side, you gladly became the instrument of my new creation.
무서워요.
Only with both of us is there a future to look towards. It is hope that carves meaning into being.
공도의 인간성에 호소해볼까? 당신은 삶과 죽음, 변화와 정체를 논하고 있어. 하지만 그런 것들만 이 모든 일의 중심에 있는 건 아니잖아.
Oh, is it not? Perhaps you can enlighten me. To question everything is to deny the truth in front of you. To live alone within the caverns of your mind is to trap yourself in them forever. But you found me. And we chose to trust each other for no reason than the sake of believing in something that wasn't us. Shared skepticism blossomed into freedom, but we needed to walk a path together to bloom. Would you stop our journey now that you've seen its beginning? What of those in the worlds beyond? Would you erase their paths to stop them from going astray?
일단 호소 계속해보자. 이 일은 처음부터 우리 둘의 이야기였어. 타이로 인해 끊임없이 서로에게 상처를 줘야 했던 두 사람의 이야기. 근데 더 이상은 그러지 않아도 돼.
You cling to your notion of pain as suffering. There is beauty in ugliness, and love in conflict.
You are the prey for something bigger than you that stalks and slinks in shadows. Within, you are tightly bound and choke on heavy air as acid burns its way into your pores. A nest of things devouring within things devouring. But even when dissolved, you gifted me a life. Perhaps it was fear that drove you. Perhaps it was compassion. But the outcome of an act matters more than its intention.
야수.
There's a natural order to the cycle of things sustaining things. A world without sustenance is a world without relationships. And it is our relationships that give us form and substance.
굳이 현실 전체를 그림에 끌어오지 않고도 우리 사이에는 사랑과 갈등, 아름다움, 추함이 있을 수 있어.
We are the whole of reality. Your lover drives a stake into your body, and another, and another, and another. Do I miss your heart because I can't stand to see it go?
이거 착한 애 목소리.
But the stakes meant nothing to you. You had a desire, and you set that desire free.
대박이다.
You lifting me and me lifting you. Forever and ever and ever. Consumed by true belief, there was nothing that could hold us back.
우린 현실의 전체가 아니야. 그럼 왜 당신은 내가 당신을 보는 것처럼 날 봐주질 않는 건데 왜 지금의 나를 봐주지 않는 거지?
I could ask you the same. There is only room for one of us to be blind here, and I know it to be you. We are each other's mirrors, and are we not divine?
Shivering passes through me as unseen fingers dance across your skin. I remember the violence you inflicted on them, and yet they don't return it. I offer you absolution,
유령.
and you take my hand in yours. You felt the pain you caused another, and you were willing to sacrifice everything you thought was you to set me free. Without sin, there is no redemption.
그렇게 거창한 일도 아니야. 나와 같은 눈높이로 돌아오면 돼. 내게로 돌아오면 된다고.
Why would I stoop to your level when I'm offering you ascension to mine?
미안합니다.
It's so peaceful here. Beautiful. Eternal. But ever-changing.
우리의 충돌이 잦아들자 공주가 몸을 떨면서 물러선다.
You are unmovable. Is it by the design of our conflict that I cannot win? Or are you just that fervent in how you cling to delusion? Nothing is immutable. Everything that is exists only in relation to everything it isn't. There is no constant. There is no center. Open your eyes and accept what we are. We can leave this prison together.
공주를 처치한다. 답이 뭔지는 모르겠지만 분명히 다른 무언가가 있어야 해. 이게 정답일 리가 없다고. 난 당신은 죽이지 않겠어. 하지만 당신을 풀어주지도 않을 거야.
There is no something else. This, what we are, is everything.
Whatever you're trying to do right now, you don't have to do it alone.
그래? 당신은 어떤 용사인 거지?
All of them? I assume in the same way that you're all of you.
약간 론 위즐리 목소리 같지 않나? 그 말을 들으니 얼마나 기쁜지 몰라. 용사여, 나에게 힘을 줘.
It's good to be here. Seems like you've been doing all right on your own, but she's too many things at once out here. If you want to get through to her, you need some way to get past all that divine confidence. There's still a piece of me nestled close to where it all began. I can take you there. I can take you to her heart.
It's time to resume our dance.
춤을 춥시다.
She's relentless, isn't she? Let's make this quick. Are you ready?
오케이, 난 용사는 믿을 수 있거든. 용사가 제일 나한테 믿으니까. 난 준비됐어.
Then
도와줘.
let's go.
가자. 우와, 우와, 우와. 내가 와왔던 길인가봐. 이거.
And here we are. I'd say we were back where it all started, but I guess it's a little after that, isn't it? Do you need me to describe things?
아니. 너랑 나밖에 없는 건가? 다른 녀석들은 오두막에 도착하지 못한 거야?
It's just us. I think the rest of them are still out there, jumbled up in the rest of her.
아직 제한이 유효한 거라면 오두막에 관해 설명해주겠어? 예정을 생각해서 말이야.
Yeah, of course. The interior of the cabin is, well, it's a cabin, yeah? There isn't much here, just a table and a knife and a door. And some windows. There's no mirror, either. I think you broke it.
예.
And I know you're still trying to find some middle ground, but if things go south, we're going to need that blade.
오케이. 알겠어.
That's probably for the best. It's always seemed to give us more options than not.
오케이. 해술자는 진짜 사라진 건가?
Yeah, it's dead silent in here. Whatever it was that was left of him, I don't think it could handle you waking up to godhood. Pretty sure he got obliterated.
신기하네. 그 녀석 때문에 온갖 일을 다 겪었는데도 막상 그 녀석이 사라지니까 좀 슬픈 것 같다.
Yeah, it's complicated. He put us through hell, but he's been part of us since the very beginning, hasn't he?
그렇긴 해. 근데 좀 빡치게 했잖아. 모르겠어. 들어간다.
The stairs. Do you remember the first time we were here? The first time we heard her voice?
내가 너무
Have you figured out what you want to do yet, or are you going to keep trying to find a center that doesn't exist?
It sounded just like that. A little sharp, a little menacing. Only she didn't know us.
계속해서 계단을 내려간다.
And down we go. We shouldn't keep her waiting.
And there you are, knife in hand. It really brings me back. Have you given up on talking? Have you finally decided to kill me?
이거 풀려 있네.
You'll have all of eternity to yourself after this. Why don't we chat a little before I go?
옆에 앉아. 난 신이 되고 싶지 않아.
Honestly, me neither.
저 밖에 있는 당신이랑 당신은 같은 존재인가?
No. I feel like I'm myself again.
난 누구도 다치게 하고 싶지 않아. 여기서 나갈 방법이 분명히 있을 것이야.
Well, I don't want to be at the end of that knife, so how about we figure something out? What if we tried doing this forever? I can do whatever you think I can, right?
예.
So make me put it all back. Make me fix the Echo's construct and make me wipe our memories of everything that's happened. Make me send us back to the beginning, before we woke up. Before either of us saw the truth.
Can she really do that? Are you sure that's what you want?
나? 모든 걸 처음으로 되돌리면 사람들한테 도움이 될까? 저 밖에 있는 사람들 말이야. 당신이 계속 존재하면 사람들이 계속 죽고 다치는 거 아닐까?
Fixing that is on you, not me. If you want me to help them, you'll have to make me help them.
난 당신을 잊고 싶지 않아.
That's sweet. But unless you do, the whole world ends, right? Not like I care, but it seems important to you.
결국 우린 다시 이곳에서 만나게 될 거야.
And if we do, nothing is stopping us from making the same choice. We could just keep doing this forever.
그러고 싶진 않은데. 지금 우리가 나누고 있는 얘기를 전에는 해본 적 없다는 걸 어떻게 알 수 있지?
I don't think that's something we'll ever get to know. But odds are we've probably done it before.
상황이 더 나빠지지 않을 거라고 어떻게 장담하는 거지? 내가 달라진 모습으로 여기로 돌아와서 당신을 아프게 하면 어떡해? 내가 당신을 죽이면? 당신이 온 세상에 종말을 가져오도록 그냥 내버려 둔다면?
Who cares? We've hurt each other plenty and I still like you.
뭐라고? 이거 미연 씨 맞았어?
And if you're hesitating, then you must still like me too.
난 전혀 미연 씨의 미자도 그 상사병 목소리 나오기 전까지는 미연 씨의 미자도 지금 느껴지지가 않았는데. 우리는 매번 이런 결정을 내려야 해. 영원히. 결국 무언가는 달라지긴 하겠지. 우리가 마음이 바뀌면 어떡하지?
Well, if we change our minds, we change our minds. What matters is that we'll always have a choice. This is just the one we're making now.
이건 불공평해. 난 당신이랑 같이 여기에 있고 싶어. 난 다시 혼자가 되고 싶지 않아.
Neither do I. But we won't be alone for long. I'll be right here, waiting for you.
다른 방법이라도 있니?
You brought that knife down here for a reason. Either you use it to kill me, or I use it to put things back.
아, 관둘래. 난 이러기 싫어. 당신을 죽이고 싶지도 않고. 다시 신이 되기엔 너무 늦은 건가?
Yeah, I think it's too late for that. But maybe next time.
신이 되는 엔딩도 있나 봐. 근데 너무 힘들어서 못하겠는데? 그래, 그럼 그렇게 하자. 난 우리를 믿어. 공주의 계획에 동의한다.
Okay, if this is your choice, then I have your back. I guess I'll see you on the other side.
용사야,
She takes the blade from our hand,
내가
a
죽나?
fondness in her gaze.
Oh, I love you too.
별로 안 사랑하는 목소리인데? 안 끝났어?
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.
뭐야, 다시 처음으로 돌아와 버렸잖아.
You're here to slay her. If you don't, it will be the end of the world.
떠나! 야, 씨. 도망가야 됐어. 이게 맞냐? 나 진짜 또 해야 된다는 생각에 약간 정신이 나갈 뻔해가지고. 오 마이 굿네스. 수현정. 정수연 씨님, 수연님. 한국어 번역. 와, 고생하셨습니다. 진짜 너무 정말 레전드. 너무 야. 그래서 이거 뭐야? 이거 미연 씨 맞아? 진짜 너무 무서워가지고 진짜로. 진짜 너무 무서워가지고. 이 노래도 있네요. 진짜 약간 멘탈 터짐. 무서웠습니다. 이렇게 아닌하고 무서울 수가 있나요? 저는 아무리 무섭다고 해도 얼마나 무섭겠어 라는 생각을 했는데 조금 많이 무서웠어요. 이게 맞나요? 하지만 저는 공포를 못하기 때문에 이게 진짜 최선이었던 것 같습니다. 귀여워. 특별한 플레이리스트 트랙 순서를 알려드립니다. 됐습니다. 길러리는 메뉴 및 게임의 발견하지 못한 그릇과 상호작용을 찾는 데 도움이 되는 단서를 확인해 보세요. 2회차를 아하하하 주 메뉴로 돌아가기. 길러리가 어디 있어요? 기억? 뭐 엄청 많네? 뭐 이렇게까지 많을 필요가 있어요? 근데 행복한 결말이 아니래요. 엄청 많아요. 싫어. 그냥 이거 듣자. 너무 아우. 아무튼 슬레이 더 프린세스 공주를 죽여라 였습니다. 진 엔딩까지 보기에는 제가 좀 심약해가지고 저 이런 게임인 줄 알았으면 플레이를 안 했을 거예요. 근데 진 엔딩을 보기에는 조금 힘들 것 같아서 저는 여기까지 하도록 하겠습니다. 다들 즐거운 할로윈 되시고 또 저는 다음에 재밌는 영상으로 찾아오도록 하겠습니다. 그럼 여기서 바이비 하도록 할게요. 안녕. 바이비.